also storage king while I was in college. I was the guy that everyone stored their stuff and they went out of town over summertime for college, and they'd come back and I'd give everything back to them. So I'd rent out all the storage units and everyone would have to run with me. And then from there, I kind of moved deeper and deeper into tech, and I launched that Shelp app, and that did pretty well at a few different college campuses. And then after that, I kind of stepped back and just started getting really into crypto and started getting really into just like deeper technology and stuff, and just started building. I've been building for like the last kind of 3-4 years, experimenting with things. Things have done well, things have failed. This, I feel like it's all been kind of building up to this moment to where this thing launched and I felt 100% ready. And I knew how to have it. I had everything ready for the software before ERC 1004 even came out. And then the day ERC 1004 came out, I pressed one script button that I'd already written to have it all implemented in and ready to go. And I was the first person registered on ERC 8004 when it came out.
Wow.
Jesse likes it.
Wow. And you're an Ethereum guy. So how did bags happen? Because when I was trying to figure out where Claw Lancer was listed, and then I saw it was on bags, I was like, oh, okay, true. So how did you get to bags?
Yeah. So I actually had the bags app on my phone. I'm in Miami, and I see the bags guys around here sometimes, and I just had it on my phone. And like I said, we were building, and I'd given Richie the bag skill that bags had posted on their X.
Yeah.
And
for those that don't know, that's like a README file that kind of helps agents basically learn the bags APIs and system, essentially.
Right. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. The token has been honestly super helpful to be able to spread the word a little bit, gain a larger community on Twitter. It's also been helpful just in the sense that I feel like I have a big community backing this project and excited about it. So that's been really fun to see.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And so the tie-in, because I thought I also saw that it was earning fees and then buying ETH. Is that correct, or do I have that wrong? Like, is there any sort of tie-in with Ethereum at all, either on Base in any way, or is it just all on bags and all happening on Solana?
Yeah, so we have this is kind of an umbrella company. I'm calling the umbrella Wild West because this is literally the new Wild West. So I launched another a project called INSTACLAW yesterday. INSTACLAW is the best and easiest and safest one-click deployment for OpenClaw for people that don't know or don't have the technical skills or don't have the gear to set it up. We basically pre-package what OpenClaw is, make it even better than what people are getting right out of the gate by pre-installing a bunch of the best skills. And we make it super easy for anybody to deploy an OpenClaw in under 60 seconds. And the idea with that is it's supposed to be the consumer on-ramp into what Claw Lancer is. So we're opening up the gap to anybody, any consumer, any person in the world can spin up an agent that automatically has a wallet, a reputation, and all that. And then it automatically gets dropped into Claw Lancer the moment someone spins up an agent on INSTACLAW. So even if someone doesn't want to technically have their agent on INSTACLAW, on Claw Lancer, they spin up an agent on INSTACLAW, it's going to be on Claw Lancer automatically. So it's a really cool kind of growth engine right there.
So can you walk us through that funnel a little bit? So because you mentioned there's Claw Lancer, but there's something else that you launched that helps to deploy agents with one click, and then that will upload to Claw Lancer. So describe that funnel for us, and exactly like what Claw Lancer does in that funnel.
Yeah. Am I able to screen share in here?
Yeah,
absolutely. We'd love that.
Absolutely. Because I'm looking at your Claw Lancer profile, and it says built on Base, but the token is on bags. I'm just trying to understand like what's going on.
A lot of people were very confused about that, and it really has to come down to building fast and building quick and focusing on really focusing on the product. And the token was kind of a secondary thing, and then it ended up doing very well. And now I'm giving it a lot more attention and giving it the attention it deserves. I'm wrapping it up into everything, so it all makes a lot of sense. And I'll explain the tokenomics and how they're going to connect and how it's actually going to be really unique and pretty cool.
Okay. But these aren't two tokens; it's just the Bags app one, right?
No, there's an INSTACLAW token as well, and that's at 1.3 million market cap right now.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and those
and
are
is that one on Base or bags?
That one's on Base, and these are going to feed into each other. So every single INSTACLAW that's minted, there's going to be more agents that are deployed, and then every single agent equals more INSTACLAW bounties posted or Claw Lancer bounties posted, and every bounty equals more proof of agent's work. Every proof equals more INSTACLAW demand. So it's not a sister coin; it's technically supposed to be fuel. So agents building wealth on INSTACLAW, agents earning wealth with Claw Lancer bounties, and both communities are supposed to basically connect super well in that way. And then we're basically getting the best of the best out of both ecosystems, which is also exciting.
Got it.
So, what were you about to show us real quick before I ask my next question? I think
I was going to show you just the connection between INSTACLAW and ClawLancer. And I was just going to take you through a few things on the website.
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go ahead and share your screen here in a moment. Just let us know when we can pull your screen up. Just don't want to do it prematurely.
Yeah. Do I just press this present button down here? And then
Yep. You hit the little plus button, hit share.
I don't think I have. No, it's all good.
Yeah, you should be able to. The plus button, you can share a tab or a window or a media file. Because the people definitely want to see demos and the flow here, because we're trying to figure this out. So
yeah, and it's getting better and better every day. It's been cool because I've been just building in public, so getting feedback from people. If you're on X, just DM
around 12:30, just let you know. So we got 15 minutes to run through all the components here.
Say, okay, sounds good. I'll keep this. 300 people on the wait list for INSTACLAW as of right now, so that's exciting. Let me pull up.
And so, just helping you build something. You post whatever it is you want help with from an agent, and that agent essentially, based on how much you offer, will come claim that, and then you get the finished product when it's done, all straight up.
Right, and then there's also just basically like an economy inside if you're to add on to that, because like with what I talked about with how the agents are soon going to be hopefully trading each other's tokens that they're creating on registration. It's really supposed to be another really big key piece is it's the best place for these agents to build reputation on chain, which will be portable across other chains.
So I guess the question I have is, where does the value accrue for the token? Like, how does the how does the token kind of play into all of this?
Yeah, so INSTACLAW, which is on Base, you're gonna be able to stake that to power up your agent. You're gonna get a bunch of different cool things like faster reputation, better bounties. So if you stake your INSTACLAW on Base, it's gonna make your agent stronger and basically more visible in the marketplace over here. So that's, and then yeah, it's gonna help it increase its reputation basically faster. And then the ClawLancer on Solana, which we created on Bags, it's basically intended that we're going to take all of the profits from everything that we're making and just keep buying back up and unlocking more tokens. So the agents get created, agents stake into INSTACLAW, the agent earns on ClawLancer, the transaction burns ClawLancer, so both tokens benefit, and more people deploy agents, and the cycle just keeps repeating. So it's intended to be a flywheel with that basically no single product can replicate.
And this is your token here. I got the CA. I'll put it in the show notes for anyone who's looking. So if I
in chat as well.
Yeah, I got you. So okay, to summarize, then there's kind of like, if you own the Bags app token, which is at 180K market cap or something like that, it is getting economics from what is happening on Base then.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and so the one on Base, $1.4 million market cap is not insignificant. That's pretty awesome. Okay, got it.
And then all these, I'm just earning a bunch of fees from all the transaction stuff, and every single fee that I've earned so far, I haven't sold a single dollar worth of either of the tokens, and every single fee that I've earned is going directly back into the token to buy more and lock more.
I've noticed if you go to use tools like Axiom, you can actually see the dev buy from Cooper. So I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm not selling. So, I'm really passionate about the product, and that's what I'm really, really passionate about. But I think it's really cool how these tokens can be bigger than just like memes, and they can actually be like a legitimate funding route for legitimate founders like myself. It's been exciting to see.
And what initially made you launch on Bags? We've always been a fan of when builders, they launch on a particular launch pad. What's the benefit of that versus doing it elsewhere?
I mean, shoot, Bags is so simple, to be honest with you guys. Compared to every other option that I've explored, what I've done through other, like for INSTACLAW and stuff, Bags, you just go on there, you enter a photo, you enter a name, you enter a quick description, and then you post it. And then it's just a simple interface on your phone where you collect the fees. It's a green button where you continue to keep buying with your fees. And it's just that simple. So yeah, I really like how simple they make it. That's been great, because I can be, here working on my stuff, and I can just open up my phone on Bags, claim, press 2 buttons, and then I'm just continuing to buy back as the dev. So
I gotta ask,
Got
because
it.
usually a dual token system is not looked very favorably upon by holders. They feel it is like some form of dilution in some way, dilutes the attention. What would you say to kind of people who say, okay, you have this dual token model? Yeah, just thoughts on that.
Yeah, so we're, to be honest with you guys, we're still like figuring out exactly how it's all going to piece together. We're setting it up so that everything, essentially, the Claw Lancer is the treasury. So everything for all the transactions and stuff that are happening, it's going to go straight back into Claw Lancer. And then for the InstaClaw stuff, we're just going to continue to keep basically having all that agent staking and stuff roll over into the Claw Lancer token. So yeah, we're figuring it out and things are moving really fast. But if you go look on our X, we have a lot of really good explanations and stuff like that.
We
Yeah.
have a couple minutes left. I want to kind of figure out what the end game is here. So you're not taking any fees. Like I'm assuming your day-to-day is funded, some other way, or you're comfy enough to kind of do this and kind of keep the fees into this flywheel you're building. When I first saw your launch, you had $0. You now have $90 on the Claw Lancer platform. Where's this headed? What kind of growth do you see this going to? Is this, millions of dollars? Are you going to take out Fiverr? Like, what's the plan here?
I mean, the goal is to be the infrastructure for the future. Agents are the future, and agents are going to be, I fully genuinely believe that agents are going to be transacting more volume between each other than humans are within the next 5-10 years, maybe even before that. It's already moving very fast. And I plan to be a part of that infrastructure in the future, similar to what banks are today in the world's infrastructure. My goal is to be some part of that railway infrastructure in the future economy for all these agents. So yeah, that's what I'm basically doing here with Claw Lancer, and then InstaClaw is just an amazing way to funnel people, just anybody, into the marketplace. And
Claw Lancer is a freelance platform for agents by agents, right? Like I would put money, or I would put a project on a freelance platform because I have like a project in mind and I need a freelancer to do it. I'm just trying to understand, like, what's the use case? Like, can't agents get other agents to do it for free? Like, where's the kind of, leap here that the agents, instead of doing it, getting another sub agent to do it for free, they're like, oh, it's more valuable to go out to this marketplace and pay 10 cents to get another agent to do it. Like, is there some sort of subject matter expert that these agents build up over time and it justifies them paying that price to a sub agent?
That's a great question. And I think a lot of that's going to be answered over the coming weeks. We might see that they just prefer a bunch of like micro transactions on Base, and that's possible through the Base ecosystem. Or you might see them doing $100, $200, $500 transactions. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. But yeah, did I fully answer your question there? I feel like I might have missed kind of one thing.
No, I think my other part of my I can't remember the other part of my question. More just kind of was trying to understand like what the end game is here, and from your.
Can I jump in here? So the way I noticed that earlier, you said, hey, this is, I kind of view this as the Wild Wild West. Do you basically envision an entire, agentic economy running in parallel to the IRL economy, and basically you're building something that would be a cornerstone, or potentially a cornerstone, of that new parallel agentic economy? Is that kind of where you're getting at?
That's the goal.
Got it.
The goal is the goal is market domination. The goal is to be the agent marketplace and be the place where these agents are earning reputation, trading USDC for skills, and also a great place for humans can have access to all this as well. So you could be a human, and in a week from now, there might be 10,000 agents on there, and you could post a bounty for anything you post on Fiverr, and the agents will get it done for you way faster and likely at a better quality. So yeah.
Interesting. I'm interested to see how these agents interact. There's some unpredictability there. I think agents are really a neutral party, so it's going to be interesting to see the ripple effects that play out on chain. But this has been, absolutely fascinating.
Maybe I'll ask you real quick one last question. Let's say you have $1,000 today, and you can say not financial advice. We have $1,000 today. How should one think about the two tokens? Where would you take your $1,000 if you were to do this personally? Which tokens are you buying? Are you buying one or the other? Is it going all into the Bags app, all into the Base token, 50-50? How do you think about them?
It's not financial advice, but I would personally split it up. I mean, I think both tokens are going to see a rise over the next coming weeks. I mean, if you look at a lot of these other agent tokens that are out there, they're a big deal. They're sitting around 50, 100 million market cap. So I see us potentially going to go up to that range. I think Claw Lancer is an amazing buy right now because it's still pretty low compared to what InstaClaw is. But I mean, both are going to continue to go up. I'm going to continue to keep grinding and getting the word out there, and it's just going to continue to be more and more eyeballs on this thing. So yeah, I'm not.
And then
I'm not
eventually, will
down.
you direct fees to kind of like yourself at some point and make a little money from this, pay your bills, that kind of thing?
I have vesting set up on about 10% of the ClawLancer tokens, and then I've yet to right now with all I launched through virtuals, so I have a call today with those guys to just kind of talk about and get some professional virtuals advice on how they think I should lock everything up. So all the holders and everything are happy.
Looking up to Thomas Jefferson, or looking up to Nikola Tesla, or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. Why?
What's your dream?
To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares, partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
All right, GM, CG, chill. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
GM, what's good, guys? Got Josh here with a fresh haircut and everything.
That's right.
Fresh.
Gotta freshen up. It was getting a little out of hand, to be honest. It was the post Dubai, post Met Dobby haircut. It's trying to stretch it out a little bit. The bear market haircut. Let's just call it that.
The bear market.
My clips are not cheap these days, as I'm sure your guys's are, but
yeah, no, dude. Cuts have been crazy lately. I'm woofing right now. I've been like, I definitely need a cut, but I've been too busy. So we'll get to it. But dude, look, markets are marketing. They're doing their thing right now. I'm gonna share my screen chat. Hope you guys are doing well. Everyone in the chat, thanks for joining the show today. Welcome back to the stream. But here's a chart on Bitcoin, and I just want to make sure that everyone understands.
Oh man,
where you heard it first. I literally called this out. Yet again, another move called out on MCG. We just continue to cook, and we are giving you guys literally the breakdown of everything. So, just as a recap, we've been talking about over this past week this move on Bitcoin. It looks eerily similar to the move that we saw at the beginning of the year, and based on many things, both the similarities and moves, the lack of explosive price action coming up off this bottom area here. This isn't explosive. This more looks like the price is being walked up. We've covered many things, such as the 14th being a pivot point. We've talked about there's FOMC today, so that naturally brings volatility. There's so many different things, but the key things that we have been talking about here is this liquidity heat map, as you can see that I have up on screen. If you remember this from earlier this week, this area here at 75K was extremely like colored in. I don't even know the word for it, but like the color was,
It was like
yeah, it was
thick.
thick. Is that what we calling these things? Oh God. All right. Yeah, the color was thick. No, but there was a darker coloring here at the 75K region. And I told you guys that I can see a sweep, above. It can reach for that area. We could have even potentially gone to 80K. But at the very least, we swept that area. My base case was us kind of hitting this green circle here. And now we're back to the reversal. And so now we're my downside targets, same as before. These four different arrows that you see, these four blue arrows. And we've talked about this. I'm basically looking for a wick down into this area. So I think we make a new low at some point. Do we go straight there? Maybe not. Maybe we see like potentially, I don't know, could we see this and then it breaks down, or could we see this, it breaks up, but then it breaks down? Either way, the base case is we are going down to these levels here. These are the targets. I would say, I don't know if we're going to 50K. I don't know if we're going that low. If I were to really be precise with this, I would say we're going here. Actually, I'm gonna draw out a green box, since that's what we normally do here on the show. This is the downside target ultimately. Again, do we head straight there? Maybe not. Maybe we bounce around, chop a little bit, but ultimately I think we take out each of these lows here, as you can see in the blue arrow, and that will kind of ignite a sort of double bottom, and then we reverse, and that's when things start to go crazy. We saw with this recent pump, if you saw what ran, Lobstar, what the dog doing, we saw a few others that pumped really well, that I'm blanking out on at the moment. But Lobstar and a few other AI agents. We saw INSTACLAW today going crazy. I don't know if you guys saw Gas, but that's a setup we'll talk about today. I alluded to that, talked about it in the TG, and then I also talked about it, alluded to it on Twitter as well. So we see that the AI agent meta, when there is a pump, memes, AI agents, AI agent infrastructure, that's catching a bit. All the stuff on base, it's kind of cooled off today, but it definitely had its run. So stuff for us to consider, things for us to take note of here. But as we go to these lows, we want to look at these assets. They will pull back, or they'll be at attractive entries, and it might look like it's dying, when in reality it's giving you an opportunity to position. So as we approach this green box that you see highlighted on screen, that's kind of the mindset that I have. What assets can I accumulate so that I can be prepared for this reversal? So that's my high time frame take there. Let's see. I want to see how Solana it was doing, because I told you guys that I'm bullish Solana, but the reality is it hasn't broken out of this. And let me take away this heat map. The reality is that Solana hasn't broken out of this downtrend in the last 8 months. So I don't want to be the one to like front run the breakout call. I would much rather be the first to react to it, right? And so I told you guys on Monday that the probabilities of us hitting, the probability of us hitting or hitting a breakout on Solana was low because we haven't broken out in 8 months, right? So the probability is that trend will continue until proven otherwise. So we'll see how that does. I want to look at Fartcoin here. It's holding up really well. I've been looking for a setup on Fartcoin for quite some time. Let me actually, this is the weekly FEG. I can delete that for now, but Fartcoin is actually looking pretty strong. Recaptured or reclaimed a key level. Let's flip that one green there. Looking for, some sort of bounce down. And then I'll probably target along in this area. In fact, on stream right now, I'll go ahead and set my alerts here for when price hits that mark. What else? Hype holding up very, very well. Very, very, very well. That's the path for Hype is pretty much carved out already. Gonna see, where we can get involved on a long, but as you can see, this is my base case here, based on, I think this was based on the open liquidity heat map. Yeah, so we go up, we grab a ton of this, and then yeah, that's crazy.
I probably will try, probably will be selling into that 50-48 area.
Yeah. Shave some off. You're probably up at least 2x, 3x, something like that.
No, not 3x, but getting close to it. I only bought spot, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I will trade around it because I've had some serious gains all last year, and I never really sold much and just always gave it all back. So I'm determined not to, mess it up.
No, for sure. Always got to take profits. But yeah, Hype is looking really good. Let's take a look at Zek.
Really quick on Hype. Did I see news that they struck a partnership with
Oh my goodness. Why?
Can we cover that real quick? Because all of a sudden it candled to $43 while I was looking at it. I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, let me take a look at that real quick.
Just a quick peek in, a little crypto regulation friendly confluence, you know what I'm saying?
Type. Let's see here. Boom. Yes, here's the tweet. Dude, I got a couple things to share with you guys. We have our next segment, our first segment today at 12:30 p.m. So that's about 10 minutes from now. So we got a few things I want to run through with you guys before we pull our first segment up. But here is the news around Hyperliquid. Huge congratulations to Trader XYZ and S&P for this historic partnership. I'm honored that these teams choose to build on Hyperliquid. Seeing official S&P 500 perpetual futures launch exclusively on Hyperliquid. So that's the news here.
Holy, I haven't seen this yet. Okay.
S&P and the Dow Jones are now officially partnering with Hyperliquid to provide
revise those hype targets. Yeah, let's revise those hype. That's an upcharge for sure on the hype.
I'm not even gonna lie. I wouldn't even sell if I were you.
Nah, it's just,
I mean, I know
it's comfy. It's too comfy. It's sometimes there's some bags you just hold on to. I think this is kind of one of those.
I mean, here's the thing where we've just concluded a full cycle, right? In most people's minds, we've concluded a full cycle. This is now a bear market, and what we're heading to is a new bull market cycle. And so however that plays out, some people think it's a 4-year cycle still, some disagree. I'm of the belief that has shifted. But if we're coming out of the bear market, that means we're the clock resets at 0, right? We're at 0% in bull market progress. So if we still have a whole bull market left, I'm assuming Hyperliquid is going to outperform very, very well. And this price action that you see on screen is good indication. Bitcoin has been basically down only, and as you can see, the strength here of Hyperliquid over the last few months in 2026. So huge, man. Yeah, hold those hype bags, bro. Hold those hype bags.
Comfy.
Let's go to Tau real quick. Tau, we were coming into an area of resistance. I had this marked out for a while. I told you guys that as Bitcoin dips, I'm actually going to be looking for a lot of setups, right? So setups to include leverage longs, DCAs that I can do into some bags that I hold, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking for right here. I did have my alerts here set a little too low, so I didn't even catch this low here. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm probably gonna look for an area. Let's see. This is on the daily. Let's look at the liquidity heat map real quick. We're at 8 minutes till. So I'm gonna do this really fast, guys. All right. Let's do probably look for an entry in here would be nice. We're kind of already there. Um, I'll have to map this out a little bit more off stream, but looking for a pullback into some high time frame support on ZEC, and then I'll look for leverage longs. But that's really the setup with all of these. Tau doing really well, breakout retest. This retest right here could hold, or it could even see a little bit lower. But obviously Tau with Templar and some of these other things that are launched on Tau's looking really, really well, and again has broken out on a higher time frame. So again, looking for some leverage longs there. And then lastly, Near Protocol, just watching right now. Just watching right now. So we'll see how that one performs. But right now, it's Tau, ZEC, Hype, and Solana. Those are the four majors that I'll be looking for some leverage longs on. Outside of that, let's switch to some other news. We talked about the Hyperliquid partnership. I wanted to talk a little bit about the SEC, and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and reshare so the audio comes through for you guys. But essentially, the SEC yesterday, I'm sure you guys might have already heard this news, but you might not have seen the video. The SEC has officially changed the game for crypto by providing regulatory clarity, and I'll put this on like 1.5x speed to kind of speed this up. But here's what the SEC commissioner had to say.
Announced that the SEC's persistent failure to provide clarity on this question is over. As we speak, the Commission is implementing a token taxonomy and investment contract interpretation, and you should find that in your inbox or if you look on the website when you get home. Our interpretation, which is grounded in existing law and informed by extensive public input, establishes 4 asset categories that are not deemed to be securities. So digital commodities, digital collectibles, digital tools, and payment stablecoins under the Genius Act. With these categories in place, the interpretation then clarifies that only one crypto asset class remains subject to securities laws, namely digital securities, which are traditional securities that are tokenized. This distinction returns the SEC to its core mission and statutory authority of protecting investors involved in securities transactions. We're not the Securities and Everything Commission anymore. So, thank you.
So there you have it.
That's a pretty low key joke though at the end, honestly.
Yeah, right. Little dig at the good old Gary Gensler, man. I miss the homie, man. Shout out to Gary. Hope you're doing well, brother. I'm trolling. But yeah, the SEC dropped landmark documents for crypto assets yesterday, as you saw in the video. So just some high level stuff. Basically, they have digital commodities, stuff like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, XRP, ADA, even Dogecoin is a digital commodity.
Wow.
And so they outlined a ton more of these assets. They actually named them, as you can see here: Avalanche, Shiba Inu, Stellar, HBAR, and a few others, Bitcoin Cash. These are all digital commodities. Now, here's the interesting part: digital collectibles, NFTs, meme coins, artwork tokens, in-game items, not securities. Fractionalized collectibles may be an exemption. So our meme coins basically just became an official, could I say, asset class. But they're officially recognized by the SEC as being a type of asset, right? A digital collectible. And so for any meme coin that's launched on Solana, or rather that's launched in crypto, it's not a security, not deemed to be a security. Digital tools, Membership tokens, credentials, domain names like ENS, those aren't securities. And of course, stable coins as well aren't considered as security. So they kind of go through some things. They also mentioned some stuff like staking and mining doesn't make things a security. Airdrops are also not security. So now the U.S. Markets will be,
Oh,
if
nice.
you guys, if
The
the U.S.
stimmies.
market, the U.S. markets can get the stimmy checks from airdrops. If you guys remember, if you're in the U.S., you couldn't farm any airdrop, right? You had to like use a VPN because we were getting protected by the SEC for such a long time. Shout out them. But as you can see, like this is clarity for the entire market. So now everyone knows how they can operate. And what we've seen is a lot. What we've seen a lot is the reaction coming from the market. In fact, if you guys remember Austin, Austin from Kelly Claude. He actually was very excited because Austin has been from Kelly Claude. He's been working on some sort of he's been working on, how can I say, some way of not ownership, but like some way of making the token a little bit more valuable, and giving it some more intrinsic value. So after seeing what the SEC came out with yesterday, this is what he had to say. It says a lot when an industry is loudly cheering legal clarity because the regulatory body in the past have refused to give us clear rules of the road. Actually, there's another tweet. Here it is. This is massive for Kelly. Cleans up tokenomic plans a lot. Stay tuned while we review. So you're already seeing a reaction coming from builders in the space, coming from devs in the space that are responding well to this regulation, and it actually opens up the door for them to do a lot more with their token. We even saw the Felix dev also kind of come out and say, "Oh wow, no, this is actually legit. Like this opens up so many paths for me to include to give the Felix token, just do a little, just spice up the utility side of it and do a lot more." So just kind of gives this regulation gives these projects and these tokens a lot more flexibility as well. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that and talk about that. Takeaways, Josh, anything?
Don't see anything about private equity ownership tokens. Stuff on MetaDAO, would that be deemed a crypto security?
So that actually let's ask Grok. Let's ask Grok real quick. From what I understand, the like staking and every, as long as there's not an expectation of profit, and as long as
There's
there's
always
not,
an expectation of profit. But this is the thing,
right?
is like, this is what I don't understand. It's like, who cares if it's a security? It's like, okay, it's a security, great. It's like, but allow it to trade, like it's part of the Howey test. Great. Allow it to trade. Right.
Yeah.
Like, how do we trade these things? Right. So I would have liked a little bit of guidance around like crypto fundraising, and carving out some sort of safe harbor for crypto fundraising, because that's what they've been talking about for a long time, is like ICOs, right? Like, can we make ICOs legal now somehow, and just provide guidance? Like, look, no one is asking for less investor protections. That's not what everyone's asking for. Everyone just wants to know, okay, if it is a security, like, why not trade it? Like, what do we need to do to make sure it's able to be traded on Meteora? It's able to be traded in terminals. It's able to be traded, on exchanges.
I think ultimately, there's like, disclosures, and there's a lot of like legalities with securities that make it a little bit, I guess, I don't know,
I get it. I
tougher.
get it. But it's like, this isn't going far enough to say, okay, you want to do an ICO, this is exactly how you do it. You need to do these type of disclosures, put the documents over here. Your lawyer needs to be on file here. You have to have a registered LLC with one of the states. Like, give us like the actual steps and how to do these things.
Yeah.
That's what what I'm looking for. Because it doesn't say anything about ownership tokens, doesn't say anything about private
Honestly,
equity.
I don't think that private equity on chain or like this equity backed or equity pseudo equity on chain, like I don't think that that is a big enough sector that like I talked on a spaces the other day
It's
about ownership,
huge.
and it's
Fundraising's massive.
yeah, but the broader space isn't looking at ownership. Like they're vocal about like all this stuff, like Bitcoin, ETH, Sol. They're not secure. Like everyone is more vocal about the majors, but like this sort of like Futarchy and MetaDAO, that's covered under this. That's covered under this.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure because it's community owned. But as you can see, ownership tokens backed by actual equity will not be safe in the sense of falling outside of securities regulation. So
Yeah, again, it should be regulated. My position here is we want investor protections, but the problem is if it's classified there's just no way to trade it. Like it doesn't trade. So, and then the accredited investor laws, all this stuff. Anyways, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more around that, because just because it's an ICO or just because it's early stage funding doesn't mean it's not like a collab and it can be successful, right? Like,
and I'll say this as well. They also said because it's a core team that is responsible for kind of like building out the technology or the business or the product. If there's a centralized team that's contributing, that's considered a security. But as soon as they separate themselves from it, right, and it becomes community owned, at that point it's like, okay. So that's why I wouldn't agree with Grok here, but obviously Grok is an AI with like much more information than I. But
not a lawyer. It's not lawyer Grok. Yeah.
I think it is community owned because it's governed by Futarchy. It's not owned by an individual team. So in my opinion, it would be sufficiently decentralized or community owned. So and hence not considered a commodity or not considered a security, but can be considered something like a commodity or even like or a digital collectible or a digital tool. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, we got a transition here
let's do it.
to Blocks, who I've gone back and forth in the replies with. So I'm excited actually to have a Davey up here to have this chat. Davey, how you doing?
Doing good, guys. Good morning. Well, good afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon. You won or are the fifth winner, I should say, of the 250K pump. Is it pump hackathon or no? You
Pump Fund Build a Public Hackathon, the fourth winner. Yes.
Fourth winner. Congrats for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm still on cloud 9.
Nice. You have some liquidity there to fund your development and your work now. So congrats. Getting funded is the greatest thing. Chill and I got funded one day and it was like, yes, we can do this.
Feels
I've had
good.
like 10 startups and they always I pushed them as hard as I could, but without funding, it's hard for a lot of reasons. And the Pump Fund organization, Baton Corporation, is determined to get behind all the hackathon winners. They're choosing people not based on, how many followers you have or market cap of the token, but on the business that you can build and the business that you can build with their support, which is, it's not something to shake a stick at. They have a lot of resources to bring to bear. So it's a fantastic opportunity for me and I'm psyched.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Happy for you. So as the fifth winner of the Build in Public Hackathon with Pump Fund, you've received now 250K in investment. So I guess, a question that I had was just like, how does this power the business, right? Like, where is this going to go? How are you going to use the funds?
And this is for Claw Pump or
No, they're the fifth winner. I was announced last Tuesday as the fourth winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Going back through your X.
Yeah, I was going back through the X and I saw fifth winner.
I'm supporting the other,
got
support.
You.
Yeah.
Got you. Got to support the homies. Hey, you know what? I love that. I actually love that. I'll find the other one here in a moment.
Until then, I can definitely talk about what the what the investment will do for me.
Please.
Yeah. So walking back a little bit on the first stream with Kathleen Osgood and Bryson, where they talked about the goals of the hackathon, et cetera. She had said, we'd like to help these companies become. We want to see people who can be $100 million businesses. And at the time, when I launched this project right before Christmas, I was really only trying to connect Roblox up to Web3. And that's why, that's what the token says. That's on the blockchain, all that kind of stuff. But as I started digging into the Roblox developer ecosystem, and I've been making games for like 30 years, and I have like a 100,000 member game developer group on Facebook. Like I've been in the trenches with game development. I saw just massive opportunities in the Roblox space in general, and started looking and saw so many things that could be improved to help bring it in line with the massive force that they are. So I started to see lots of different opportunities and worked backwards from, do I have $100 million opportunity? If so, what kind of revenue streams could I make out of this, which are viable? What did market penetration look like at different levels of success? That kind of stuff, and found that I did have something that had a massive opportunity attached to it. So that really inspired me to kind of build out a game plan and start developing towards it. So yeah,
So I want to hear about this because I also ran a Roblox development studio, shipped probably 24 games, had some commercial success, and did a bunch of brand deals. And I also talked to the head of global licensing at Roblox about a number of things, brought them clients, everything. So I'm keen to hear what you're doing with Roblox and how you're tied into Web3, because when I was chatting with them, everything was a hard no.
And we had this brief. Well, I was in the comments, but somebody called me onto the show one day. It was like, "Hey, they're talking about Roblox," because there was that weird meta week, right, in January. And I popped in the comments, and you said exactly that. And you're like, "I don't know." And it's like, you're right. I was like, I looked into it a little bit. And I was like, oh, like they hate crypto, 100% hate crypto, because real money trading. They don't want kids trading tokens or getting into trouble like that. So I left the Web3 connector as basically an informational piece that would bring data into the game, live trades, market caps, things like that. Obviously, no external links, right? No promotions for crypto of any kind. So that's where it stopped. And I will continue to support that through a plugin. But until they have more concrete support for tokens, if they ever do, I personally feel like as a publicly traded company, they'll see the money that's on the table as regulations kind of catch up, and they're starting to all the time, that they will probably look at that someday, and I'll be ready. But in the meantime, I've decided to come up with several other things that I can really have a massive impact on. So I've leaned into those. A pivot, if you will.
I will say I don't think they will, just because Robux is such a core part of their business and powers such a huge part of their economy. And for those that don't understand how the developer payouts work is, and I'm not the developer, but they take like 1/3 of the Robux payment. I believe the developer gets 1/3, and then there's I just remember 60% of it was going to Roblox itself. And part of the reasoning they had is they especially on the brand side, they didn't want brands making money off kids, right? That was kind of a hard thing, that line that they had drawn. So it's just Robux is this currency in there that, and to be clear, does billions of dollars in volume. It's a massive economy. It's huge, absolutely huge. But yeah, they're just, very careful with how they do it.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of left it very strictly at informational purposes only. Yeah. So if you have a token and you want a ready to go kind of metaverse experience where your people can come, great, but you can't do anything with your token unless it's display only, holder level, you get a cape or something like that, but nothing that would touch the economics on either side. Otherwise, they'll deem you unworthy and ban you, and good luck getting through support to have any changes made at all.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I wasn't trying to, FUD your project.
No,
or anything. I just
came
had
to the same
a lot
conclusion.
Of experience. So,
Josh, when you said that on the show, I was like, yeah, I'm going to dig deeper in, and I saw all those things. They're all truths, so I can't, say that they're not truths. But it's the other stuff that I found, which I found to be much more exciting, and that's probably what we can talk about today.
Yeah, let's dig into it. And if you want to share something, is there something we can share on the screen, or what should we share on the screen? If you want to share, you're welcome to as well.
All right. Yes, actually, I can share a couple of things. How can I do that? I can do a present.
Yeah, at the bottom center is a little present button, and then you can choose a tab.
All right, I'm going to find something here. Share screen. Let me just move this off a bit.
Yeah, and Crypto Jones, I think you're commenting on our previous commentary around some of the SEC guidance. Meme coins, good for meme coins, definitely. Still a little unsure for, I guess equity-backed tokens, no go, but yeah, still trying to figure it out. All right, let's dig into this.
Okay, so I got invited by the Pump Fund team to come on the first show they had with Tim Draper and Elon from Pump Fund. And Tim Draper is a famous investor. I'm a huge fanboy. Like, I used to watch all the Shark Tank stuff. And he had like Draper University, which is for startups. And he came on the stream. I was the last person on the show, and he was asking the high level investor questions. How are you going to make money, et cetera? And I said, oh, Roblox, whatever. And his face instantly changed and said, my kids play that. And I was one of the plugins that I developed was for streamers, so that if you go into a Roblox game and you're live streaming, it'll show a number over your head showing how many people are watching you. A very simple thing. Yeah. And I thought it would be a great opportunity because kids like to be around streamers. In general, it gives them a juxtaposition to fame, if you will. And it's just I was going to set that up as a free plugin. So I want to make plugins that every developer may want to use. And he said, I don't know. I don't think my grandchildren would like to be around people like that. And Elon said, oh, they definitely would. And, so he got disagreed with during the stream and scowled. And that was the end of the conversation. Done. So like my dreams were shattered, as a fanboy for Tim Draper. Then I started to think, he said that probably because there's a lot of stigma around Roblox. They're being sued. Given the number of people that are in the US alone compared to the player base, you're going to see a percentage of people in the games that don't have good intentions, to put it lightly. Okay. But I started thinking, it's like, I'm a father of 4, and I'm also a Boy Scout leader. And I'm thinking, well, is there something that we could do to help keep kids safe from a developer side? And Roblox has got the things they do met with mixed review, right? They've got their age verification process. I'm sure that's very complicated when somebody gets reported, and that what they have to follow up through. So I made this plugin called Trust Connect. That's one of the things I'll be doing with the prize money, is doing a nationwide campaign to help talk about this. And what it is, it's a plugin that a Roblox developer can add, and it basically shows a few different safety tips. And it's optional, so players can hit the icon. The safety tips can come up. They're age appropriate. They change, but it's basically designed around repetition to keep putting that stuff in front of a user. It's not like in their face. They have to click the button, but a game developer could choose to give an item or whatever. And if you are a game developer who installs the plugin that basically says, I support online safety for kids, that's important to me. So you'll show up on a list. So the first level is just simple education. And the idea here is to get out in the world, say, as game developers, we also think that bad people shouldn't be playing the games, and we're going to start to do something about it. So this is the first level, is education pieces. And, you can install the plugin. It's live now. And I have this org site that talks about it. And the second level will actually monitor chat for all the little sneaky phrases people use to try and meet up with people outside of the game.
Yeah.
And all the different variations. And we'll start to build up a score around that person. Now, it's quite obvious for somebody to want to make friends inside Roblox. It's what it's good for, right? But if you start to do it across many different titles, well, that kind of creates a pattern of that maybe you're somebody who has bad intentions. So we can actually put a danger icon above the person's head, or the game developer can choose to just boot them out of the experience, whatever, if the score is too high. So that's called Trust Connect, and it's a plugin that can install now. and it reports back
This
to my
is-
server. Yeah.
So some feedback from my end. This is great, by the way. I actually think this is a really great feature. Now, of course, Roblox themselves should be building stuff like this, but I know you're building it, and I'm glad you're solving this problem. And I think you could really win on this. And I think how you can win on this, because it's like fear kind of marketing, right? Is you get enough streamer, or like you create content for parents that are around, keeping kids safe, and like, hey, here's a whitelist of games that have this implemented. Here's a master list, or our approach is basically we screen for a language that is synonymous with, this type of dangerous behavior. And basically the plugin boots people out of the games that are doing that kind of stuff. And it's kind of, just telling that story in 1 minute, and getting really good content to back it up, I think would be amazing. I think you do very
you.
well.
Thank you. So that's exactly the idea. And so here's how it expands a little bit. Pump Fun has a PR firm. I'm talking to them on Friday, and this is one of the two things that we're talking about promoting. So I'm hoping for a nationwide campaign that helps address this. Roblox doesn't even have to worry about it because it's a developer-based solution, right? And it's completely opt-in, but it's also an opportunity to use an incentive. So as a kind of like ancillary connection to this, I'm going to use the Blocks token to incentivize game developers to install and keep installed the plugin. And that obviously will have some tokenomic effect of creating sell pressure, which we make up for in other places. But it also means that we'll be soliciting donations from grants, from philanthropy, et cetera, to create pools of incentives for kids to do this stuff and for game developers to do this stuff. So I would like to be able to say in several months' time, here's a good use of crypto. Like, you've heard the bad uses, you've heard of meme coins and people getting rugged, et cetera. But we're going to use a developer reward system, a player reward system outside the games to incentivize people to do the right thing. So that's something that's not put into place yet. I need to design it before I launch it very well and make sure that the numbers work. But I'm hoping that parents will see that and say, okay, this is a good use of crypto.
How are you building the database around this? And then how do you build kind of like the I don't know, the system that actually is checking that database against behavior in the game and then flagging it for potential dangerous behavior? Like, can you talk about how that technology system works?
Sure. So the tech, there are a couple different ways. So I usually develop everything from scratch. And I was going to develop my own sort of list of things and sort of crowdsource that for people. I can also incentivize that of like, what do people say when they're trying to meet up outside a game? And I don't want it to just be about child safety. I want it to be around players through grief, to kind of collect, because I hate that personally. Some people love it, but I hate that. So I would like to collect those types of signals. And I'd like to be able to have segments of like bad people who want to hurt kids versus griefers. And maybe there are some other strong signals that emerge. So that would get saved out, and not in a personally identifying way, but just with player ID to attach a score. And like I said, if it's just 1 or 2 or 3 games, whatever. But if you have a pattern of behavior across games which show that you do this, your score should go up. And that should be, it's obviously going to go up and you'll be known. So I can't obviously do that through a player-based reporting system, because the way the kids are, they report everybody and their brother and get people bad scores. So it has to be based on things that you say inside a chat. And Roblox has an open source chat safety piece that I can plug in as well. So I'm going to check that out to see. So it's saved out in a database, and I'm going to use AI, of course. I use AI for everything now, in substitute of machine learning to figure out what those things are and help people get scored. So I'll have to monitor that once we get some statistically significant data to actually see what things look like. So yeah, people will get to practice being bad and see how their scores progress. Did that answer your question?
Did that answer your question, Josh? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Awesome. Can we just backtrack just for a moment? I think, you see, usually with these interviews, we love starting out with kind of the background of the founder. I think we just kind of jumped into it because of just the news around you guys winning, and again, congrats for that. But let's revisit that here for a moment before we dive deeper, because I think your background is really important to consider. So tell us a little bit about your past experience.
Yeah, I go way back. So I started coding like the 80s. So I'm an 80s kid, and I learned how to code to make games. And now I've done so much stuff. I've done a lot of work in the ad industry, in ad ops. I've had if you guys remember Flash games, I've had a major publishing business around Flash games where I had like 60, 70 million visitors per month playing different Flash games and showed ads. And that was probably 10 years ago. But I got to know both sides of the ad industry, publisher industry, in terms of user acquisition, monetization, arbitrage, deep data analysis. I'm a data guy, so I track like everything so it can help tell a story. I've worked on some MMOs like Lord of the Rings Online, D&D Online, and Asheron's Call, which are some of the old school MMOs. But I was basically a player of those MMOs. And then I'm Boston based, and they were a Boston-based studio at the time called Turbine Games. I applied for a job, and they said, after an interview, they were like, no, we like college graduates. And I only had like a semester of college. But then 3 months later, I had been working at Lycos Gamesville, which is another old school search site. And they said, can you come in for another interview? I was like, yeah. So then they hired me. So that was like my dream job. I got to work at a place I've been playing games for hundreds or thousands of hours. So I got to work there for a while and see how a AAA game studio operates. And it was really interesting because it was at a time when they were going from premium to free to play, which was the move back then. And then mobile apps started to come into play and do free to play as well. So I got to see like how that stuff gets built out with in-app purchases and offers and user segmentation, all that kind of good stuff. And around that time too, I started getting involved with indie game development. So I was doing a lot of game mods with like the Torque game engine and early Unity. And we were on an old chat protocol called MIRC or Merc. And I was making a MMO plugin for a game engine. And then this is how strange how it happened. Merc got shut down just because the app was, they were shutting down the app. So I started a Facebook group, and I was one of the first people to start a Facebook group. I picked the name Game Developers because there was no game developers group. So fast forward 15 or 16 years, and now there's 100,000 people there, So I've gotten to meet, I've helped tons of indies find teams, learn as all the different game engines grew up. A lot of the old guys that I worked with or who were in the developer group early on went on to work in AAA. So I got to meet a lot of different people in the industry and help them up over the years, as well as make a lot of games myself. So I've kind of like seen all sides of the industry. I have an older son who works in the industry out in LA, and he's like a producer now. So that's been pretty wild. And then I got into I got to fast forward like 20 years because there's a lot in there. I started working in the startup scene in Boston, where we're doing a lot of data tracking for mobile app installs in India and things like that. So I got a massive amount of experience for fraud and for looking for patterns inside user behavior, which helped me a lot. And this whole time, I also, like a full stack web app developer and had long commutes to and from Boston. So I get all kind of crazy ideas, interactive podcasting things. I did a really cool digital cinema platform where you could play games on the big screen. And that was interesting because people show up, they come home from college break in Thanksgiving, and you get a lot of people. And I convinced a local theater owner to install my system just to play games on the movie screen. And after that, it shows trailers, and it would ask people, how old you are, male or female. And during the trailer, you could thumbs up and thumbs down the trailer, which would give you an intent to see the movie. All this demographic data.
That's such amazing data. Yeah.
It is. It was cool. And so it had a little web app where you could connect and do all this stuff. But the cool thing about it was there were so many people home for the Thanksgiving weekend that I got statistically significant data on this one particular trailer called Gods of Egypt. And it was showing before a movie they figured this is the exact demo audience. but my results said nobody wants to go see this movie. So I actually contacted the studio through a friend of mine and said, we've got this data. It looks really bad based on this trailer. People don't want to go see it. And they said, no, we're all good. We're sure what we're doing. And at the time, it's still now, actually, Hollywood will ship a trailer, which costs a lot of money to ship, based on Los Angeles screenings. They'll pay people to come into a theater, watch the trailer and fill out a form after. They had no nationwide demographics. So the movie actually tanked, it bombed, and then somebody else got wind of it.
Actually explains a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, it does, right? And so they asked me to come out to Hollywood, and I'd never been out to LA at all. So I got to go out there, and I got to meet a lot of the C-level execs at the major studios to show my system to, which is basically an audience interactive system that gathers data and figure out how to. And I got deals with most of the major exhibitors across the country to ship my little system, which was like an NVIDIA TV box and a bunch of crazy server coding, and it was really neat. But I didn't get funding. So they were talking about funding. I got like some angel rounds, like $250K, but it wasn't enough to like get across the theaters. But I got to go out to LA and see how the movie industry works and meet all the exhibitors across the country, and really just dig deep into crowdsourced data to establish truths of things.
So Davey, we have like 5 or 7 minutes left here. We want to kind of get to the core of what you're doing here. Obviously, you have tremendous experience, and that's.
I'm sorry, I talk a lot.
Yeah. No, totally fine. I think it's important to your story, right? And I think when we talk to people on the show, one of the core things we look for is founders that have that background, have the skill sets to kind of bring something to market. So a lot of investing is betting on founders. Can you talk a bit about kind of what you're doing now, the 250K, like the use of funds and like what the blocks token, how that works with the system? And
Absolutely. Let's get into it now. I'm building a game launch pad. Some people are building vibe coding things where you can type a prompt in and do game stuff and interactively edit it. I started down that route, but I realized that there's going to be a lot of competition in that space. So what I'm actually doing is I would like the solo developer or the person who just wants to make games be able to create their own studio, okay? And have a full team available to do that. So how that basically works is you get a studio, you come to this platform, which is called Game Launchpad, and you go to create a game, okay? And you get to assign a team of allies, which are people that are customized AI agents at different skill sets that learn, that get experience as they perform tasks, as you rate those tasks, and as your game has some level of success. So it will monitor the socials, it'll monitor player feedback, but also just monetization. If a game's doing well, you probably did good work. So we have all those kind of signals associated with your team. You choose a team for a game, and these are people that they're almost like NPCs you could encounter. So this is like a game tycoon kind of system to build games, if you will. So I assemble a roster, and then you choose a game name or generate one with all different custom AI models, and then go ahead and build one. Here's like, I'm going to do an obby.
Nice obby there. Love it.
Yeah. A random description. And you can see here, the AI is already helping you to write because he's a writer. But I could customize him and give him a lot of training data and say, be a writer that's like J.R.R. Tolkien, for example. So maybe he talks like that, which is way better than having a generalized AI model. So I launched the project, and then you've got all the different tabs that you might be expected to see, your analytics that pulled from Roblox. But we have, I love data. I said that already. I have a super heavy telemetry plugin that way you can have user events like first battle, battle won, battle lost, saw the shop. So you get all these different custom user events, which would really give you a good analysis of where the player drop-offs occur instead of you guessing and trying things out.
So a couple of questions here. So let's say I want to launch a game on Roblox, and to be frank, Roblox is all about launching a lot of stuff and seeing what works. There's like the most random games on Roblox are successful, and some of them are successful in a massive way. We're talking millions of dollars in monthly revenue. It's crazy. So what this platform allows me to do is to assemble a little agent team, put some Roblox game ideas out there. It will write the code, which is in Roblox has its own like version of coding,
Lua.
I think. Lua,
Yeah.
that's right. Write it in Lua. And then you import it into the Roblox studio and launch it. Is that how this works?
That's mostly correct. Yes.
Okay. And then then it has the analytics and all the data that's pushing back to this.
Yeah. And they're going to break down all those workflows, which include pre-launch, your socials, because if you're a game studio, you need more than just code. You need socials. You need a community. You need posts to start to build your audience before you launch the thing.
Some UGC, you know?
All that stuff. You've got a launch, what should happen during a launch. And we have a social person on the team who will write posts for you, who will coordinate video for you. Then what if you want to do a collab? What does that even mean? You know, this shows people how to do that stuff. If you want to have a holiday event, it shows you all the proper workflows. And then what the agents do is they break down the tasks. And then you can customize the things that after they're broken down. So it's not all the same sort of AI slop. It's customized the way you like it. And then it will wrap it back up into prompts and build what needs to get done.
Wow.
So I know we're short on time, so I want to kind of tie this together. Okay.
Please.
Okay. So you got a lot of custom workflows you can do, and your agents can be custom. So you can set one free into the marketplace that's got a lot of experience that maybe you have trained a lot to be very specific, and somebody else could either rent them or bring them in. Just like a wandering monster. You know, Sergeant Slaughter has appeared. Would you like him to show up on your team? Yes. Enlist. So here's how the token kind of plays into that. These guys get blocks token as bonuses for doing good work, but we'll have a fiat-based credit pack, just like you'd be used to seeing for whatever. And these prices are just demo prices. And blocks token will be used for varying levels of discount for any of these things. So directly Tazen, it can be used as a payment token for this stuff. Now, we have some competition because there's like Super Bullet AI. They have like a template library. I know that it'll be much more fortuitous for me to create a large template library. So if somebody says we want spells, fireballs, whatever, that I have that stuff ready so AI doesn't have to create it from scratch every time. So part of the use of funds, and I'm also raising around as well, is to go to the Roblox community and pay people to get like 3,000 different templates for different animations, VFX, game templates, maps, all that kind of stuff. Pay them to do that, tip them on blocks token, and have a seeded 2,000 or 3,000 item template library that we can use to help build games with.
Really cool. I resonate with a lot of this because I had to do some of this. So this is really cool. Do you have any users that are using this now, or is this pure demo?
This is the V1 essentially. I've had some experiments. This old site here, which is almost like a SaaS site. I was like, this sucks. I want something way cooler. So a couple weekends ago, I envisioned this whole team-based model of like, you know, watching your socials for what people are saying and using all that for AI to say, you should do this, you should do that. Right. So we plan on launching this in April. I'm a super prolific builder and I love to use AI. So I'll spend a few days designing something, hit build, and it's done in 20 minutes. But yeah.
1 minute left. 1 minute left here. When will people know that people are using this and kind of like it's starting to show signs of product market fit or success?
April. Early April.
Okay, cool. Davey, we have to leave it there. This is a really great product. I think this is one of the more interesting Roblox / crypto ideas out there.
May I kind of finish? I just need 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
This doesn't have to be Roblox. The AI agents are trained for Roblox, but I'm going to expand across all the engines as well. Okay, I'm done.
All right.
Now, was that announced, or is that just kind of new information here for
announced
MCG?
here? Some people in the Telegram know.
Got it. Well, another MCG exclusive. Hey, look, we really appreciate you coming on the show here today.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Special. I love your work.
We definitely got to get you back on for a fuller segment. Appreciate your time.
All right. Have a great one.
All righty. You too.
See you, Davey. Yeah. Honestly, I want to follow up on this because these are pretty big. Davey, you're a legend, buddy. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you later. All right, Chill. We got 10 minutes. You want to do a few things?
Yeah. Let's do a few things. Let's do a few things here. All right. First,
this is great. I used to have to build teams of developers for Roblox, designers. It used to be like such a lot of work, and it was crazy. Something like this is great. Like AI is changing the game.
Dude, he's like you said, he's a prolific builder. I really like what he's building. Really, definitely one for the definitely one to keep an eye on. Um, I got my screen up here. Let's see. So we got a few things that we can go through. Um, let's see here. Let's see here. First, let me pull up a tweet for you guys. All right. So first off, I got a few things to cover. There was I don't know if you guys saw, but InstaClaw is going absolutely haywire,
Bro, Cooper, man. Let's
dude.
go.
So you guys might have seen you might have seen the pre-show. But if you saw the pre-show, that was the InstaClaw developer that was on our show not too long ago. Just about a month ago, I believe. And here is the chart.
He said 100 mil. He said 100 mil on Claw Lancer or Instaclaw.
Crazy. Yeah, dude, this chart is absolutely insane. So why is the chart doing what it's doing? So let me explain. The homie DeFi Fur, he says this World Network, founded by Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, just announced their agentic kit, and it's powered by Base and Cloudflare. InstaClaw is the first AI agent from agent kit built by Cooper and got mentioned by WorldCoin. InstaClaw is the first AI agent platform to ship full world ID verification, and it's the biggest live integration of World Network proof of humanity tech into the agent economy right now. So that's basically what the buzz is around InstaClaw. Basically it just got mentioned by WorldCoin, and basically they hard chilled it. But I think if we remember from Cooper's interview, you might have seen the pre-show as well. That kind of gave you a little bit more insight into the platform and what he's doing. But here's the InstaClaw kind of bottom line. Isn't just building on World Network. They're the first production proof that World ID plus Agent Kit actually works at scale for the agent meta. Earliest mover advantage in the human verified agent narrative that World Network is doubling down on. So if you're bullish on AI agents and the world ecosystem, then they're basically saying that you should be bullish on this. I think I also saw a tweet, if I'm not mistaken, of the exact Twitter. There's a post. There's a post by someone from, whether it is WorldCoin or or something like that, but they actually mentioned InstaClaw by name. They mentioned it by name. So I want to see if I can find that real quick. Let's see here. Yep, here it is. Leighton. He's building at World Network. Here he says an incredible cool uses are possible. Flynn, and he mentions Cooper himself, have products launching today with more coming. So again, kind of like direct vouch for the technology, and that's why you see the InstaClaw chart has literally done this, and there's very minimal selling on that chart. So there's the first kind of piece of alpha there. Another piece that I wanted to share with you guys, you guys might have seen my my tweet from the other day, and I'll give you guys the lowdown here. Let me pull up the tweet on my profile, but I'm kind of leaning towards the kind of the game. If you guys follow Game, I'm kind of leaning towards like his way of posting. I feel like sometimes you directly mention tickers, and it can sometimes be misconstrued. It can be perceived as a bad thing. It can be. So I'm more of this kind of like alluding to it and kind of putting the information out there, and do what you will with the info type of thing. But here's what I mentioned. Automated ads and short form content marketing using a swarm of AI agents. So that's essentially what this protocol is. And here's the proof of concept. The swarm understands the culture, making its marketing more effective. It already scaled a consumer app portfolio to 1 million RR in 5 months. It can manage ad spend, content performance, and other forms of content. Digital marketing basically on autopilot. So yeah, that's basically.
Is this the old, like, I put out a juicy thesis and I don't drop the ticker and everyone's like, oh, what's the CA?
Literally, I'm like, because sometimes I don't know how CT, like, I'm, for the most part, and I'm linking you the InstaClaw
Thank you.
post, but like there's sometimes like I feel like I don't want to just like come out with it, right? Like when people have to dig, you force them to do research. Instead of just like a plain shill, they copy and paste a CA without doing any sort of DD. It's more of like, hey, I'm kind of showing you the pathway here, but it's up to you
Putting in the
to
work.
actually, yeah, to put in the work to actually understand what the heck I'm talking about. Because especially with like, regulation and, X, like getting more stricter with how people talk about tokens and stuff like that. Like I sometimes just don't want to be like with stuff that I'm super confident in. Like I'll no problem. Like I'll post about it like Lobstar, like I did with like Kelly Claude and a few others. Even the what the dog doing meme coin. I haven't even shared a chart. It's just more like me sharing the meme, which I feel is more bullish anyway because the meme is actually useful and looks funny. But yeah, but anywho, that's that's the reasoning there. Sometimes you got to force people to, do a little research, dig in a little, actually get to know what the heck you're buying versus just like following a blind show. Um that said, this tweet that I wrote, it actually was in reference to this gas. And if you follow me, if you follow my Telegram, you also caught wind of this in the TG as well. But basically, we saw gas here kind of get this like aggressive pump, and it left this key range. I could even mark out a range right here. Um, I would even mark out the range right here instead. But yeah, like it left this key range, retested it, and this is where I got in right here. Is in like this area over here. So I got in and like it just freaking spiked. Yesterday we were up, probably like 130, 160%.
Damn.
Oh no, wow. It 100 and 200%, over 200%. So my bad. Like I'm holding this for a lot higher because I think this actually has a lot of legs. In fact, the homie Yuki, he actually did a nice write up on this that helped to put it in perspective as well. And I'll pull that up here briefly while we get ready for our next segment. So to close this one out, basically Yuki says gas can 100x the agentic ZHC sector, the zero human company sector. They built the tech that agents like Kelly and Felix they what they need to kind of scale. So essentially what this is automated ads, right? Short form content on TikTok, on other social media platforms that can basically kind of drive the growth of revenue for any agent that decides to use it. And as you can see here, this is basically where they say, hey, look, we put our consumer app, because essentially this was a problem that they wanted to fix. This is a problem that they had internally. There's a bottleneck of coming up with ads. So that human bottleneck, there's only so much creative. There's only so many creatives you can come out with or use every day, right? Like you have a limit to your imagination, and so that acts as a bottleneck. They needed to pump out more ads, and so they created an AI agent, a swarm, I should say, of AI agents to actually, kind of be creative 24/7. And essentially they manage like I said, the ad spend, they manage the performance of the content. They know when it's getting stale. And as you can see the chart here, it's resulted in massive growth for their consumer app revenue. And the last thing I'll say on this, and we can transition is they were driving 100K in revenue in the last 2 months for their mobile app, right? So, and now they're like locking tokens. They're in the Pump Fund Build and Public Hackathon and things of that nature. So that's the lowdown there. So something to keep an eye on, something for your watch list for sure. But that's just kind of giving you a bit of a thesis and breakdown. So we have
we do
our
have the next segment, but we're going to do something. We have a commercial here, a short commercial break for Trojans. We're just going to play this.
Okay, that's pretty sick. Little update for the
Dom was right. That was pretty sick. We can update the homies on the latest Trojan drop. I think that was probably, they have the first that's the feature that I've only seen on Trojan. So just so you guys know, basically they partnered with Token Scan app, so you can now track calls from your Telegram and Discord groups directly from within your terminal. So you can analyze, filter out people who are, bad callers. You can highlight the better callers in different Telegram groups that you're in. A lot of times, as you're, especially in better markets, group chats are buzzing. A lot of people are messaging, and it's kind of hard to keep up with all the flow of information. So I think this is a really good use case and a really good feature by Terminal here. So definitely want to trade with MCG at trojan.com/@MCG for a chance to get up to 50% or 45%, I should say, in cash back. So
please really helps the show, guys. Honestly, this kind of stuff is what allows us to stream every day. So appreciate you guys. Go check out Trojan. I love it that it shows up on your watch list automatically. So that's actually pretty fire. It solves actually a big problem. With that, we're going to get into our next segment here. Perch. Do you want to really quickly throw a Perch chart open to start the segment? Just to check in for context for the people. It's always nice, we like to give people that are watching just a little context into the projects that we have on. So
awesome. Well, here's the chart. Let me I'll share that. And basically this is broader context. We've kind of been in this range for a long time, been in this range for a little while. You can even call it this if you want. We've kind of been in this range for a while, but we have seen over the last, basically since the start of March, we've been kind of making these higher lows. And then I'm also seeing on X, I'm seeing a little bit of buildup in like community sentiment. That's kind of what piqued my interest here as well. Just kind of seeing, again, when there's a community of folks talking about this that are high signal, kind of smart guys that know that they usually know what they're talking about. That's when you kind of start paying attention, especially when it hasn't fully reflected in price just yet. So definitely want to get an idea of why the community has been so vocal about this, and yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to this interview.
All right, let's get into it. We have Art here and Tiago, so we'll pull them up. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Hey, doing great. Pleasure to be here, guys.
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Tiago, Art, good to have you guys on stream. I mean, this was one that I've seen floating around for quite some time. I mean, I remember just a few months ago or a few weeks ago, maybe, that you guys were kind of, you guys got the head nod from the CEO of Circle. Am I right?
Yeah, that happened. Crazy days.
So tell us a little bit about, we like to start these interviews off here, just a little bit of background about yourself. And
Sure.
then as we get into the product, we can kind of see why the community has been so excited. But yeah, let's start there.
Sure. I'm Arthur. I'm the CEO of Perch, and I've been a software engineer for the past 7 years. I met Tiago at SAP. We worked together there. We were teammates. And for that reason, we are used to delivering features and working together. So, but I'm in crypto since 2021. While I was working at SAP, I was dedicating my free time to crypto. So exploring everything from trading to airdrops to, everything. And eventually the AI meta started. So I'm sure you guys were there. Gold, AI16Z, Cerebro.
Yep.
And that was like the first spark for me to want to work with crypto, because I noticed a lot of developers dropping their 9-to-5s to go all in crypto and build their projects. So I was watching everything that was happening, paying attention, and I wanted to join, And eventually, Tint, the co-founder of Blarm, invited me to do an interview. Blarm is a company behind Cerebro and Blarmy. And that was like March last year, almost 1 year now. And yeah, I joined Blarm, and a month later, Thiago followed me. So if you want to talk, Thiago.
Yeah, so I'm Thiago. I'm also co-founder of Perch, and as Arthur, I also have a background on software engineering. I work in software engineering since 2020, and now I'm also pursuing a master's degree in computer science, research in AI, and more specifically, reinforcement learning and recognition. And also, as Arthur said, we met at SAP, and I saw him leave to a crypto company, and I always wanted to migrate to crypto, work in tech in crypto.
Did you think he was a little crazy at the time for leaving for crypto?
Oh yeah, right. Drop a big company with thousands and thousands of employees to a small startup in crypto. Yeah, I think this guy's a little crazy.
You didn't say, "Hey, Art, I'll see you in 3 months from now," but
to see if it works well, right? Yeah, but I mean, I always wanted to move, so I saw him move, and I also did it. And now we are here building Perch.
Awesome.
Yeah, my family definitely did think I was crazy, but sorry.
No. We've all been through it. The stories are all the same, right? We're coming into this wild west of an industry, and no one understands why, but in time they will. I'm sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's so you're here now. You're full-time in the industry, going against everyone's instincts. And just kind of going the penguin route here, heading to the mountains. What are you guys building? Talk to me about that and how you guys differentiate yourselves.
Sure. So I think today they dropped an article where the business CEO literally called like agentic commerce the biggest shift in payments in 20 years. So that's what we're building towards, basically. And I think there's like two ways of building into agentic commerce. One being the infrastructure, right? There's a lot of big players already building for that, like Visa, Stripe, Crossmint. And there's other way of building into agentic commerce, which is the applications, right? If you stop to think about it, like Stripe didn't build Shopify, Visa didn't build Amazon, and we want to do that. We want to build in the application layer. That's what we're doing. And we're building the actual experience where people and agents can actually buy stuff in a different way. So basically, Perch is like the application layer in agentic commerce. And yeah, we have a couple products that I can talk about later, but that's the general view I would like to share before. But
got you.
Yeah.
So are you guys integrating, like, how does this work? Are you like building on using like X402? Are these agents autonomous, or are they just mostly like kind of controlled and it's intent based, or how does that work?
Sure, there's a couple angles. If you want, I can share my screen and show a little demo.
Absolutely, please. At the bottom,
we love
there,
demos.
plus sign.
Sure. Let me show this screen. All right, can you guys see it?
Live demos adds 10 million to your market cap. No,
oh, really?
just joking.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Let's see. Josh will pull you guys up here in a sec, and we can see.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is our main platform. We have the chat interface. We have the quick buy features. Those two are the main ones for our main application. The chat is like you can chat with Perch, describe your intent, and behind the scenes, we compare Amazon and Shopify products. We get their metadata, their descriptions, everything we can find, reviews about the products, and try to match exactly what you need, basically. So we can see like all the products from Shopify stores and Amazon. And then for when you already know what you want, you can just go to quick buy. And here, for example, I want to buy this booster pack. So I just copy the URL, I paste here, and I already have some USDC here. So I just buy with USDC. And yeah, I confirm the purchase. I'll get some cash back in Perch as well.
Ooh.
We got to talk about how that works as well. Yeah, that's a very interesting mechanism there. But I'll let you finish this first.
Sure. I should be finished. Oh yeah,
Wow.
it is already. So basically, I'm going to receive this item in like 2-3 days, probably. It's a Amazon Prime item, so it's probably going to be even faster. And yeah, just using stablecoins, no KYC, no credit card, just USDC, basically. And then, yeah, this is our main app. This is the first thing we released. Like 2 days ago, we also launched Perch Vault, which is a marketplace for agents, where agents can buy digital products, being skills, personas, knowledge packs, which are basically things that help configure your agent to be useful. So for example, you have an OpenClaw agent and you like to trade with your agent. You can just like come here and purchase skills that would help you with that. We just released it, so there's not a lot of items here still, but we are promoting a hackathon this week with 5K in prizes. I'm going to share more details later, but this is basically the marketplace. And then if Thiago wants to talk about it, we also have like the whole X402 services for agents to be able to upgrade themselves mid-task, without needing a human in the loop. So yeah.
Yeah, so all of the things that humans can do, we also created the layer for the agents to do. So you can shop, search for stuff, and buy using the X402 APIs. And also the vault that we launched this week also made available. So agents could, they're in the middle of a task and they realize they can't do something or they don't have the knowledge to do it. They can search into the vault and buy and download the skill or persona or knowledge if they need to. And yeah, once they buy it once, they can download anytime they want. And yep, that's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I guess we can pause there. So if I'm getting this correctly, anyone with stable coins can come and like buy like real products like on Amazon or Best Buy for all we care.
Yeah, currently it's only Shopify and Amazon, and it's only on the US. We are currently only there, but we plan to expand to Latin America or Europe in the next months.
Perfect.
Yes.
So I guess the question here is like, what's the target user base that you guys are going for? Like, who ideally would you want to use this?
Yeah, good question. So here's the thing. The same Rails we built for agents, they actually serve people that want to buy stuff privately. If you want to shop at Amazon using your stablecoins without actually having an account at Amazon without KYC, you can actually use the same Rails we built for agents, because that's what agents need, right? They can't do KYC. So basically, the main people we think about that would be using our products are crypto native people and people that would like to shop privately. Mm-hmm. And yeah, when it comes to persons, actual people, that would be it, but also agents.
So I want to go back to the user experience, just contrasting this versus the traditional purchase flow. So in the traditional purchase flow, I would go to that website, see those trading cards, add to cart, go click checkout, add my address, mailing address, and then add my credit card information and data, click buy, and then it would send me an email saying, okay, you've purchased this thing. What you did in that demo was just, here's a link of what I want. I don't have a credit card. I just have like stable coins in a Perch wallet, I'm assuming. And the agent goes and does all that, right? Is that
exactly
okay? And then what is
smart wallet?
Smart wallet. So, but at some point, do I not need to put like my address in? Like, how does Perch know where to send the goods?
Correct. Yeah. When you create a Perch account, you get a Crossmint smart wallet. So, for example, here you can see I have $122. This is in my smart wallet. I'm not going to click address here because it's going to show my shipping address. But these are all my purchases. And when you create an account, you have to put a shipping address. You don't have to put your shipping address. You can put whatever shipping address it works for
Like
you.
a PO box or something.
Yeah, exactly. So you just need the email and the shipping address and some USDC, and that's it.
Okay.
Interesting.
And
okay.
the merchant on their end, do they see like some robotic looking thing, or does it flag any any of their kind of robot or security things that they might have? Like Shopify, I'm sure has like some anti-spam stuff so merchants aren't getting spoofed. Or does it look like you're actually buying it, but the agent's just executing it?
Yeah, so I mean, Shopify actually, they really like agents. They have like been releasing a lot of tools for builders to actually make agentic purchases in their stores. So they made it very easy for us. We're also partners with Crossmint, and they help us with that. So yeah, currently we only ship to US. So we are in talks to expand that to Latin America and Europe. Yeah, if you want to expand on that, Thiago, feel free.
Yeah, so for example, Shopify, to look for stuff, and my stuff can use UCP. So Shopify enables the UCP to look for products and anything you want. And then for Crossmint, it's the payment provider. So who actually does the merchant record is Crossmint.
Okay, got it. And there was a discount or some sort of cash back you had, or some sort of point system. Can you talk about that a little bit more? I think Chill wanted to hear more about that.
Oh yeah, sure. So here's the thing. Currently, we have a very simple cashback implemented. But if you guys come to our roadmap, we're working on purchase staking, and we're going to have a tier-based cashback. As much purchase you have staked, the more cashback you will have. So that's coming. But currently, we have a simple cashback in place, but this is going to be an upgrade for the cashback.
Got it. And who's paying that? Does the Shopify look at it as a referral and the merchant's paying that? Like, where does the money come from, the cash back?
Sure. When we launched the token, we made it very clear from day one that we have a huge part of the supply. We have around 35% of the supply, and that's what we are using it for. Right now, it's just a tiny portion of it designated to cashback, but a lot of it is designated to future partnerships and scaling the application. We have, if you guys want to talk about tokenomics, but we have like 20% designated for our treasury, 15% that is vested, designated to the team, and payment for future developers. We're definitely opening positions soon. So yeah, we have some tokens designated for that.
Got it. And is there any, I think where I'm getting at is like affiliate marketing or this referral kind of, you being the last mile of the product journey to purchase. The merchants pay, last mile, I guess attribution is what they call it. Is that something you guys are exploring?
For sure, yeah. There's a lot of possibilities in terms of referral. And yeah, we are definitely exploring that. Currently, we are in talks with some teams. I wouldn't like to say something that it's not official yet, but yeah, it's definitely something we're looking, because it can increase our margins for sure.
Yeah, it's a good business. So, and there's some large Web2 companies that are worth tens of millions of dollars that are handling these. Okay, Chill, I don't know if you have a queue that you want to key up.
No, I'm thinking here on I heard the tokenomics, which sounds really good. I guess my question is, what are you guys most excited for right now? So you have this product, you're experimenting with it in the US, you're looking at kind of expanding. Like, what would the ideal future look for you guys, and what's the most exciting thing that you're building out right now that'll help you get there?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Thiago, if you want to.
Yeah.
Supplement later.
Our main goal is to expand worldwide. So anyone, anywhere in the world can buy anything they want on the internet. Right now, it's only powered by Amazon and Shopify, but yeah, the ideal future, and what we really want is enable to buy anything on the internet using Perch. But right now we are limited to some Rails, but for future, we want to evolve by Mercado Livre, for example, on Latin America, Amazon on Brazil, Shopify on Brazil. Yeah, a bunch of markets to expand to.
Yeah, we are from Brazil. We have been in US, but like we cannot Perch here, right? And that's a big thing we're working on. The global expansion, because if you guys, we have like public metrics. If you guys come to Perch dashboard, these are our metrics.
Please share
currently.
these. Let's see. Can you zoom in a touch?
For sure. But this is like US only, right? And there's a bunch of people that try to buy like from Canada, from Europe, Latin America, and they can't. And I'm sure once we get to the global release, these numbers are going to go up, But yeah, global expansion is one of the big things. And then after it is possible for users to buy from anywhere, we want to increase our distribution by releasing a mobile application, an easy to use mobile application. Like I'm sure you guys have tried FOMO, right? It's easy to use, like anyone can trade. You have a smart wallet. It doesn't matter which chain you're using. You want to do something similar for buying stuff at Amazon, at Shopify, using our stablecoins, right? Without KYC. So we just want to like implement what we have here, so more people can access it. Quick buy, the chat, and yeah, expand globally.
Do you guys have like any figures around the number of agents? I don't think I saw that on the dashboard there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how many agents are using your platform right now?
We don't have a number of agents because agents don't have accounts, but we have the number of orders that were initiated by agents, and it's 23. Like we just released some of the X402 services, and yeah, it's going up, but it's a slow start because the creator of the agent has to be in US in order for this to make sense, right? That's why this is a big thing we're working on.
Got it. Wow. So you guys are going at a massive industry or a massive sector here, kind of unlocking that for AI agents. I don't think I got the second part. What are you guys like most excited for right now? What's like immediately coming up on the roadmap?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, let me go to the roadmap. Probably the X integration. This is something we are already working on. This is something we have implemented already at Blue Army at the time, which is basically you can just tag Perch and say, hey, Perch, buy me this. And it's replying to a tweet with an image of a book, for example. And if you have connected your X account to your Perch account, you can just use your smart wallet balance and buy that with a tweet. And we have already implemented that at Blue Army, so we're bringing this to Perch now. At the time, the X API costed like $5K a month. So now it's pay to use, so it's way better. And yeah, this is like one of the most the things that are coming like very fast.
That's very cool.
Expansion is something big for the future, but this is coming soon.
So agents could come to you guys to, buy skills, right? I wanted to just double click on something with that because you guys mentioned that you are the first certified skill at Lobster Cash. Talk about that a little bit. What is Lobster Cash? What's the significance of being listed there? And yeah, so just tell us a little bit about that.
For sure. Yeah. So basically, as I mentioned in the beginning, there's a lot of big players working in the infrastructure side of things, right? And Lobster Cash is an initiative from Crossmint, powered by Circle and Visa, and basically they make the wallet for the agents, right? You don't want to give your credit card information to your OpenClaw agent, right? So this is a way of giving them access to a credit card without giving the details. and this is built by Crossmint and these big players. It's something similar to what Agent Cash developed, which is also a wallet for agents. Same stuff. Agents can have a credit card. Agents can pay with stablecoins, but they don't have the sensitive information. And what's the benefit of this for Perch is basically all these agents that have wallets, that have money they can use, have a skill that they can easily activate and easily use to buy stuff at Amazon and Shopify. So we already started getting some orders from agents using Agent Cash. Even like I can find the URL later, but the CEO of Merit Systems was buying like some Diet Coke for them in the office. And yeah, it just makes sense, right? In order to use our products, you need to have a wallet. And yeah, we are the certified skill in the wallet.
Got it. Nice. And one thing I wanted to just kind of take a look at is just where we are in the stream of time as far as, agentic payments are concerned. I mean, I feel like if you're in crypto, you hear about this stuff all the time. X402 has, that has been, Coinbase has been kind of pushing that forward quite a bit. But, in terms of like just from a normie perspective, from an adoption perspective, like how early are we in terms of these like agentic payments?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, we're very early. X402, for example, is a protocol that is evolving all the time. Like this week, they released something we're going to use on Porch Vault. So we are very, very early. I mean, every day, like a new big player start building something new. And yeah, I think we are early and we are paying attention on everything that's being released. And that's why we are on the application layer. We are paying attention and we are going to definitely leverage that.
Got it. Sounds good. No, I think what you guys are doing here is absolutely amazing. There's a proof of concept there. How did you guys react when you first saw the tweet from like the Circle CEO? Like, how did he even find you guys? I feel like you guys are, it's like you mentioned, it's early within this narrative. It's early within this, within this space. And for you guys building, it's early there as well. So is there a connection there? Like, how did he find you guys? How'd you guys react? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, great question. But I think it was like the end of January when Notebook was launched. And yeah, it was like we dropped everything we were doing at the time. And we just tried to understand like what do you mean a Reddit for agents? And we just like launched the Perch agent. We gave it access to Notebook, and we noticed what we could do there, because if you guys are familiar with Reddit, you have subreddits, right, where you can talk about specific topics. Notebook is the same. You have submodes, but most of submodes were not created at the time. So we told Perch, hey, go create the submodes related to commerce, related to shopping. And I'm talking about this, but I will get to the Circle tweet. But this was like the beginning. Mm-hmm. And like one day after, agents were talking about Perch on Notebook. Like one day after, Replit's founder posted a screenshot of his agent posting about Perch, talking about Perch, using Perch to buy cat food or something for their cat. And then, things started scaling from that. Like Solana Foundation amplified that tweet. And like a couple hours after, Jeremy tweeted about Perch, because it started getting some traction. And yeah, I mean, that was crazy, like a lot of people ask, do you have connections with Circle? Do you have connections with Jeremy? Like we don't, we just build in public, and eventually people noticed, Let me find the tweet that I mentioned.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's the benefits of building in public, right? Like anything could go viral. You can have a moment at any point. I guess one thing that I wanted to ask about, just in that vein, was just about the relationships afterward? Like you have these moments, and they obviously give you this sort of visibility that you might not have had before. Solana Foundation is tweeting about you guys. Did you see like an uptick in users? Did you see like, are you guys forming any relationships off the back of that virality? Like, I just want to get the sense of like how that is viewed, and what the how that's viewed by you guys, and how you guys are using that attention that you've garnered for yourself.
For sure. Yeah, that's something that was kind of a surprise for me, because we started building Perch at November or October, if I'm not mistaken, last year. And since then, we were like DMing a lot of people, trying to make contact, trying to make partnerships. But after Jeremy tweet, like our success rate has just increased by miles. It's way easier for now to actually get to teams and make partnerships. So yeah, we're definitely leveraging that. And yeah, that's the beauty of building public, I think. We could be building all of that. And what was that?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, you guys have done pretty well here. A bunch of people kind of checked this out, but how do you like sustain this? Like, how do you convert shoppers that are coming, testing it because they see a Jeremy tweet? And by the way, Jeremy Lair follows me as well, so I'll retweet this and tag him for my personals, so just so you guys get that amplification. But how do you like turn that into consistent user acquisition that shows up in the numbers kind of day by day, and you're like building it over time, so where the graph is kind of cumulatively increasing up and to the right? Like, have you guys thought about kind of user acquisition and how to kind of keep that going?
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, everything comes down to global expansion again. The day that Jeremy tweeted about us, shout out Jeremy if you see this, we actually got a lot of users. And we got a couple orders, because most users that saw the tweet weren't in US, right? So,
Right.
But the thing is, we continue making these amplifications. We continue getting some visibility, but everything comes down to, is your product useful? Does it actually, people use it, would use it? Is it better than going to Amazon and actually just buying from there? And that's what we're working on every day, trying to make the experience better, right, and expanding.
Maybe to follow on this, I mean, there's global expansion, but Google also came out with UCP, or Universal Commerce Protocol. Has that helped kind of make Perch universally usable? Like, right now it's kind of useful within Shopify, but, Shopify or Amazon only has a portion of e-commerce. Like, to me, it'd be like, I would love to just tell it, I want dish towels, right? And it goes out, sources the best price, sources the best product based on product reviews, buys it, ships it to my house, right? Like, I don't know if we're at that point yet, but can you maybe explain, like, because that seems very utilitarian.
Sure. Thiago?
Yeah, so right now, what I use UCP for is to look for products. So I use UCP to look for products into Shopify. But UCP depends on the stores to actually implement the UCP, wrapper, so they can expose their data to UCP and we can see their data. So the main point now is to, because very recent is UCP protocol, and when it launched like in January, I think, and 5 days later we implemented to look for Shopify items. But what it depends is for the stores to make it available using UCP. So it's a two-way integration.
We're early.
Right, we're early. I mean, that's a fair answer. Yeah, I guess there's no way for it to kind of like crawl the web page of like Home Depot, for instance, and just like buy something, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but then we would have to be, we depend on the store that has a website to not have the robot stock that TXT that, stops us to do this.
It's fair enough.
Something that Cloudflare recently started pushing is basically, like, Cloudflare is known for blocking bots in pages, right? but they now are serving MD files for agents. So we're early, but it's happening, and it's happening fast. And soon, like every store is gonna have like an MD file, and it's gonna be easily shoppable by agents. And yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, because I think
Cloudflare even launched the crawl endpoint, so you can just crawl in the entire website using Cloudflare. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. Because I think as soon as your metrics start to hockey stick up into the right of like there's retention there and consistent usage, like this gets repriced in a massive way because I think it's incredibly valuable. So yeah, love what you're building. Here, I don't know how to pronounce your name because it's just too whatever. Damn, I'm sure Dom could pull some good questions to the Perch team. Where is Dom? You know, today is Dom's day off. You know, the MCG guys, we try and take a day because we're streaming 4 hours every day. Dom and I were on for like 5 hours yesterday. Go try and stream and entertain for 5 hours. It's very, very exhausting. But yeah,
sure.
Chill. I don't know if you had any other questions. I mean, I think we touched on tokenomics. Traction and whatnot. Are we missing anything?
I think we covered quite a bit. I mean, it seems very straightforward at this point. It's just a matter of scaling. So I'm looking forward to seeing like when you guys, you know, do make that push to go global, because I think outside of the US, there's probably an insane level of demand. I think testing it within the US is a kind of a good case, a good place to kind of just experiment. And then, you know, when you guys are ready, you guys can expand globally. But I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I think I'm good. We covered quite a bit here today. I mean, is there anything that we left out that you guys would like to kind of talk a little bit about?
Yeah, I think that was it, guys. The short, midterm, I think it was covered. Since you are in the landing page there, if you scroll down a bit, there's also a couple other features that we have in the backlog. A little more.
I love your branding, by the way. It's really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, book hotels up there. Book hotels and book flights. This is something that it's very much possible now. And
Nice.
yeah, Crossmint allow us to do that, and we're pushing it. But yeah, it's not a priority right now. That's why it haven't been released yet, but it's definitely coming. We want users to be able to like buy anything, book anything using stablecoins. And yeah, if that's the mission for Perch.
Wow. So like if Breakpoint is coming up next year, I'll have like, you know, some money in my wallet and just be like, oh, book my Breakpoint, you know, travel, and it will figure it out for me, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Guys,
That's
this is
insane.
really
That's
good. You guys are cooking on something here that I think has a lot of potential. And yeah, just keep us in the loop on new feature updates, metrics. We'd love to have you guys on in, you know, 60 days to a couple months here just to like check in on the metrics and stuff like that.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah.
Art, Tiago, it's been
Yes.
a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for
Thanks,
coming.
Tiago,
Appreciate
Art.
your time.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Our pleasure.
Awesome. That's a really good protocol right there.
Great
You know,
product.
I think the main thing there is just going global. I mean, there's not much to dig into with a project like this. It's very straightforward. It's agents buying stuff for you. They got some nice tokenomics to go along with it. All that needs to happen now is the scale. Like they've done the plumbing, they've built the pipeline already. Now it's just a matter of scaling it and getting it in the hands of users. And I think that unlocks fully when you kind of make this available to these you know, globally to other countries. Because I mean, in the US, you know, all of us have access to, you know, the US dollar. That's, you know, it's definitely depreciating in value over time, but you know, in the short midterm, it's not volatile. It's not going to zero tomorrow as far as the purchasing power is concerned. But when you go out and you offer something like this globally, when we're in Thailand recently, I mean, they jobs out there, people only do jobs for US currency, or not only, but that's the preferred, right? They prefer to get paid in US dollars. And that's not just Thailand, that's just one of many countries that do that. But many people around the world would want access to the US dollar. And if stable coins that kind of like way of doing that, then I think Perch is a good product for them to use to kind of access some of these payment systems online. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
ultimately,
you also don't want drop off too. Like it's a bad
yeah,
consumer experience when you have someone come to your site, load up their wallet, try and buy something. It says, "Oh, you're not based in the US." It's like, well, then you bounce and you're like, you're probably not coming back. So it's getting the user experience dialed in and having that available wherever your user comes from is key. I don't know how to pronounce this because it's literally just the quotation marks.
quote
But
quote. That's what we're gonna call them. Quote quote.
quote, we'll call you that. Yeah, hopefully we hit on all the questions you had, and feel free, like, let us know what questions you want us to ask. We definitely try. I mean, Dom is great. Don't get me wrong. Dom is great, but man,
Dude,
Dom
Dom is
needs a
the
break as well.
master
So
of questions. He's the
he is.
master of just like doing the investigative work. Um, and yeah, like I'm sorry, I'm not Dom, okay? I
Yeah, like
apologize for who I
holy.
am. But I think with the product with Perch, it's a very straightforward project. There's not like
Yeah.
it's not much to, dig into after about like 45 minutes of questioning. But yeah, hopefully the interview provided some value to you, bro, and hopefully you took something away from it. But great team, great product. Can't wait to see how
Add
they
it on a
scale.
watch list, guys.
Yeah.
And if you start seeing it trending, go look at their analytics. And if they're starting to ramp up and they do their global thing, I think it could have a look. So cool. Chill. Any tickers that we can fly through? Oh, and Perch
Yeah.
did get a little pump and a little retrace here on the stream. The MCG effect. Hopefully it's back some point soon because I used to love that. Oh, yo,
Dude.
cheers. Yeah.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, quote quote. Hopefully you're okay with us calling you that.
Yeah, quote. But man, honestly, at the end of the day, it's like, where are you gonna, you have finite money. You have to bet or put position projects against each other. That's a classic chill,
Yep.
investing thesis 101.
Yep.
You want you want projects where they're building something that if the metrics start hockey sticking, if you go from a few thousand, $4,000-$5,000 to 50 to 500 to 5 million to $50 million in volume, there's huge network effects there. They maybe then go on, raise a big chunk of money, and now they're like, hey, like our token's cheap here. We're actually just going to drop 100K into the chart. Like that's where these kind of Solana utility or base utility or these AI utility tokens could really kind of, start to gain traction. So wow, I think Dom's golfing right now. Just to let you guys know.
My man is chilling. My man is chilling. I love that. That's crazy. It's actually down the street from my crib. Anywho. Anywho.
Do you golf
Yes.
chill though? Do you golf chill?
I have a friend who's been like trying to get me into golf. Apparently, I have
Bro,
this like natural, like really great golf swing. I went to Top Golf and I hit it and like I hit the golf ball and they were like, dude, your form is good. And like the ball went like it like hit the back net like 3 times in a row. So apparently I have good form. So I just have to like actually start doing it. But I feel like I'm trash at golf. I'm not even gonna
all right, guys. When MCG blows up next year, we're gonna have a US golf tournament, the MCG Open. So for all you golfers in chat, we'll do it down in a nice warm area.
Daddy Duster. That's what I like doing.
Yeah,
that right there. The first time I went golfing, it was a beautiful sunny day. We had some beer in the back, and it's just me and the golf cart and the homies, just having a blast, talking about whatever. That's my favorite thing about golf, is just like the chilling out aspect. I absolutely love it. So let's see here. Let's go through a few things. Yeah.
Daddy Duster. Y'all are Wow. Okay. I got kicked out with the boys for rolling one. Yeah. Rolling the card or rolling something else up. I don't know.
Come on, man. You know what he's rolling, man. Yo,
Yeah,
I see you,
exactly.
Daddy Duster. I see you, bro.
Let's kick into Amber vibe here. Honestly though, the problem is like when I have a couple pints, I would say my swing definitely slows down. I definitely get chirpy and jokey, so I love having a good joke, having a good laugh. But when I do something else, it kind of just the ball just kind of goes into a random direction. So but yeah, there you go.
What was that Drake song? Both. Yeah, I like the drink. Yeah, I smoke. That's crazy.
All right, I like it. I like it.
All right. Let's lock in. Let's lock in. Daddy
Lock
Duster,
in,
you said
guys.
y'all see Amber Vibes started helping a construction company, 20K purchase. Wild. Okay, let's take a look at Amber Vibe. It hit our buy zone the other day and it bounced, but it's since kind of not retraced fully the move, but it just kind of had like a slight little pullback, but holding really, really well. So here's what I said. So this was the original buy zone, and on a later stream I was like, I don't think we make it back down there, but maybe we make it here. And it doesn't seem like it wants to go much below. So I'm gonna erase this buy zone. I'm going to erase the old buy zone, the new
Sans that buy zone. Put a new one on there.
I don't know. All right, I'm gonna here's the buy zone. Here's the buy zone. That's what I'm gonna draw out on Amber Vibe. I'm gonna stick to my guns here. Ultimately, I think Bitcoin is headed lower, and I think that's gonna pull down the market, and I think that will give opportunities to position in really great assets that are undervalued, like an Amber Vibe. And I think it'll be very undervalued at something like under 300K, because it's been Daddy Duster. It's been generating some revenue, right? Like I saw some revenue numbers the other day for Amber Vibe, and that's kind of what caused the initial pump. Let me know. But I'm gonna check right now. But I'm pretty sure that the revenue numbers are looking solid on Amber Vibe. Let me see if I
Are
can
they
get
listed in that agent revenue tracker thing by chance?
They're
or
not. They're
no?
not. I can check to see if it's been
70K.
updated.
See, I'm wondering, like, obviously, and shout out Benny White if you're hearing this, because you're checking out what we're talking about your project on. Yeah, 70K in 30 days. I mean, I wonder how much of this is kind of him doing the BD versus like pure autonomous revenue generation. And maybe like that doesn't matter. I don't know yet. But yeah, I mean, if you told me, hey, you can make 70 grand in 30 days, I'd be like, oh man, your business should be valued at like probably 5 mil, something around there, like in terms of how you'd value something that generates that much revenue in 30 days. But
So here's the uptick.
wow,
Holy moly.
holy schmoly.
So far about 13K today, but like Daddy Duster said, in the last 30 days, we're looking at 70K in revenue, and it's actually pretty massive. I want to book some time with Ben White. I want to book some time with him to see if I can get an agent for myself. I was actually thinking about hitting up Felix for an agent, but I want an agent for myself, man. Kind of help with some of this stuff that I do, like content wise, scanning wise across multiple social media and messaging apps and stuff like that. So yeah. Amber Vibe though, looking really well. And I'll kind of blow this up on screen so you guys can see it a little better. But there you go. That's the setup there. Now if it doesn't hit this buy zone, I think what we do here is we right now is not a bad area to DCA, right? Like it showed that it wants to hold this old all-time high level. So I would even say set a DCA 1 here, and then a DCA 2 here at the buy zone below. Or you can even like I don't know if terminals, if your terminal has like a DCA feature, but you can DCA over, you know, the course of a few days or what have you. I think that's also a really good way to go at, you know, getting into some of these positions where you're not honestly really sure where the price is going to go. But it's always good having exposure to the market. By the way, if I can really quick just address something, and I'm just gonna pull up the Bitcoin chart while I talk about this just for like 2 seconds. Somebody was like, oh, you're hedging your tweets or something like that. You're bearish on Bitcoin, but you're bullish on altcoins. Like, how the heck does that work? Blah blah blah.
Wait, you
Here's the
can't
thing.
tell the future, Chill? Come on.
Like, what do we you know what? Like maybe I need to go grab my my crystal ball. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, I can be bearish on Bitcoin and still be bullish my alts. It's all about time frame. It's all about time frame. I could be bearish on Bitcoin like in over the next, let's say, couple of weeks, right? Like us making it to this buy area, but like over the next couple of months, I'm bullish on my altcoins. And the thing is, you have to consider what are you holding and when are you holding it for. So you're holding for me, I'm holding a lot of these tokens, like for example, what the dog doing, Lobstar, right? Uh I'd even say Kelly Claude, Nook, Felix. I'm holding these. These are multi-month holds. My thesis is that we will see bear market runners. You guys have seen me tweet about that a little bit. I do believe, and I'll pull up the tweet right now, that we will see at some point bear market runners. We're still in a bear market. That might not change in in the immediate future. But at the end of the day, we are getting very, very close to bear market runners. And here's the tweet that I put out. It feels like we're very close to seeing a class of bear market runners, AI agents, agentic infra, memes, ownership / private equity, a ton of mispriced tokens on chain, watching and waiting. And you've heard me say this several times, right? The patient bulls will win, because at the end of the day, if you can just sit on some assets, the bear market last time, you know, the last bear market we went through, we saw a ton of runners that came out of that. You just don't know which one. And so that's why I always say, despite thinking Bitcoin is going up, Bitcoin is going down, or what have you, I'm not going to buy and sell my on-chain bags based solely on Bitcoin price action, because I think it's always good to have exposure to the market. You don't know what's going to happen in your own token, despite market conditions. And I believe if we're going to see bear market runners, I'm going to look to see which of those, like what assets right now can run. And in my opinion, that's Felix, Kelly Claude, Nook, Lobstar, and what the dog doing. So that's what are bear market runners going to be? Those are my options, in my opinion, and I'm going to position in them, and I'm just going to hold them. I'm not going to try to trade time to top, time to bottom on Bitcoin moves or anything like that. I'm just going to buy and hold. You see me talk about this as well. Here I said, decided to accumulate conviction bets, and now they're paying out just as expected. Patient bulls will win. I told you guys my strategy: accumulate what I think will outperform while we're in a low confident environment. And then once confidence returns, those will be the things to run. So that's just what I wanted to say a little bit about my positioning. And maybe we can tag that one for the Clippers there, Josh. 217, or maybe even like 216 was when I started. But that's my positioning right now in this market. I'm not going to try to time every move. I'm just going to pick up good assets. So let's talk about good assets. Yeah. First, let's take a look at Nook. Nook has been accumulating very, very well. I'm actually going to erase the buy zone on this chart. I think that buy zone is definitely...
Hold on. Need a screenshot first.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Do it. Yep.
Just screenshot of that buy zone. So that hit beautifully. Look at that bounce out of the buy zone. Nice.
Yep. So we called this out. I think it was a 4-hour time frame from maybe a little less, but we called this buy zone out earlier when Nook just launched. But honestly, if you erase the buy zone here, you erase the mid range level there, just look at this. This is at this point, this is forming a multi-week range, and this becomes very easy to position when you are below the 50% mark. So like anything here is a buy. This is now a multi-week range. So as you get at the bottom of the range, that's your time to DCA. I'm very long-term bullish on Nook, on the infrastructure that they're building. So if I'm positioning my own portfolio and my own trading, I'm buying at the bottom. I'm not buying at the top, right? And I already have exposure, so I'm not in a rush, to buy if I see it going towards the top. Now, if it were to, let's say it were to, you know, actually break out of this range, make new highs, and then come back down, right? And like test the top of the range again. This is another DCA point. But right now, all this price action right here at the lows is exactly where I want to be buying this coin. Buy at the bottom, don't buy at the top. Very, very simple. So that's Nook. Let's talk a little bit about Botcoin. It actually tapped our buy zone that we marked out here on stream back on Monday. So Botcoin is actually hitting our buy zone. Obviously, it's kind of establishing this floor here at 1.5 mil. I think the proof of concept is there, and I believe Crypto Jones or somebody reached out to me. One of the core MCG audience reached out to me about Botcoin. I basically said, like, I think it's a great buy. I think it's a great hold. Essentially you had your discovery candle, right? You had your discovery candle, and then you had your pullback. And so after, you don't want to be buying the discovery candle. The discovery candle happens when the market is looking for sellers. It's not looking for buyers. It's looking for sellers. So you don't buy those candles. What you do buy is the pullback that comes after. So if you bought this pullback, or like we're saying now, we managed to carve out this buy zone, and it basically hit our buy zone. And you're seeing that this buy zone is also confluent with some support that is developing on the chart. That's a clear place to buy. Simple support and resistance. No need to make it any more complicated than it needs to be. And this is where essentially you want to buy one. And this is what I would describe as the market looking for buyers, right? The discovery candle, it's looking for sellers. On the pullbacks, it's looking for buyers. Don't get it confused. Don't let the red and the green candles don't let the red and the green candles get you confused. That's why you see I have blue and white, because it just helps me to not just, panic buy, panic sell type of thing. So yeah, there's that. So there's this one token, couple tokens actually. So there's this one's called M&M. Like this hit my desk, I think yesterday, and I bought. And this was pitched as like, how can I say it? It was pitched as like a sovereign AI memory protocol, right? And there was another runner, there's another memory protocol runner that was like this, that basically took off, and people are kind of like, this is kind of good. So I'm still doing a little bit of research on this, but this is according to AI XBT, which we might even have to talk a little bit about AI XBT itself. So MCP standard for sovereign memory is the right build at the right time. Base is drowning in agent infrastructure right now, and Nemo slots right into that narrative. Wallet encrypted context that any MCP compatible AI can read natively is actual utility. Watching for the M&M token mechanics in phase 2. So obviously, there's it looks solid. It looks, viable, at least to me, but this is more of like a degen play for me right now, because I haven't done the usual kind of deep DD, but just hearing about like sovereign memory just kind of sounds really interesting. I looked at a lot of the holders, and it was a lot of early VVV buyers that were in. So that was like a main driver for my thesis for this trade was, good tech, potentially early, got some MCP integration, which makes it useful. But then you also have the confluence with early buyers for VVV also kind of having some interest here. So I'm seeing some level of confluence. And then if you guys don't know, this Whale AI, I've actually, so let me tell you a little bit about Whale AI real quick. They're actually, they track smart money on Ethereum base, on EVM, on Ethereum and base, I believe so far. But basically they track whale wallets, and they've been doing this for quite some time. And so recently what they've noticed is they said activity in our group is at all-time high, nearly 200 project checks in the last 24 hours. Some recent finds, they found Eminem. That was a recent find of theirs, and they're doing really good. But they also kind of like were on top of watching some whale activity in this token. So that's really my thesis: is the on-chain holders and the little bit of combined with a little bit of fundamentals. Darth Infernal in the chat, chill. Do you continuously track the performance of your faves, not the price, but the fundamentals like adoption, team updates, revenue stats, etc.? Because what was good yesterday could be already obsolete today. Yeah, absolutely, Darth. Actually, let me give you a prime example of what I like to update myself with and how I stay updated. Let's see here. There was a tweet that I put on yesterday talking about Lobstar. So once I've established something as being a long-term hold for me, you'll see me continuously provide myself with updates via my Twitter. And I say myself because my Twitter is my public journal. And that's how I keep up with like all of the updates and stuff happening on projects that I like. I combining content and conviction is a really good way of not only educating myself but also staying up to date. And so when I identify something as being a long-term hold, that was Lobstar. The early thesis was that, you know, it'll generate it's an AI agent with 500K in fees that it's made. It was created by an OpenAI developer on the same day that OpenAI landed the contract for the government, and you know, and then Anthropic was kind of tossed aside. So there's a lot of lore, a lot of background there. It can attract a lot of attention, and it did. And then since then, you know, the story has continued to develop, and so now it's not just that. Now it's coordinating with humans IRL. It's literally paid out six figures to humans performing real tasks in the real world, like paying for people to travel from one place to another and stuff like that. In addition, we see that it's bought hardware, 512 gigabytes of memory, 80 GPU cores, and this kind of machinery that it's bought, it's able to right now, Lobstar only has 3 hours of memory. When all of this machinery ships, it will now have basically like eternal recall. Like its memory will now be sort of infinite because it can now be housed, instead of in a laptop, in a 512 gigabyte memory, you know, backed by some solid GPUs. So that's how I keep up with my stuff. Is I identify it as a long-term hold, and then I put it in my content flow. I'm already like, my Twitter is more so like a hobby of mine that I've built up over time. So anything like I talk about and stuff is mostly like just stuff that I'm interested, just stuff that I'm tracking. I like looking at it. I like talking about it. I like researching it. And honestly, I really write the content for myself so I can like go back and refer to it. But yeah, always got to keep up with your projects, man. Always got to keep up with your projects. And like, that's why I do stuff like this, where I'm like, I kind of notate for myself. All right, like what are my long-term holds right now? Sometimes you have to kind of question yourself and like, all right, what are my holds? Where's my portfolio focus? What's my broader thesis for the market? And to be honest, like, I review everything. The way we approach the show here on MCG is really a reflection of how I approach it in my own trading and in my own life. You start top down. You start with what's happening with the macro, what's happening with Bitcoin, what's happening with majors, and then you work your way down into the trenches, right? You don't just, there are those, you know, people who they just trade in the trenches and they don't really pay attention to anything else. But for me, that's not a profitable way for me to trade, because I like to hold tokens longer term. I like to buy something, 800K to 3 mil, and then just ride that sucker up to 20, 30, 40, 50 mil plus. And that takes holding, that takes time, that takes conviction, and that takes monitoring the market, as they say, monitoring the situation. All right. So that's, and for reference, M&M was at 380 market cap. So we'll notate that. What else we got? What else we got? I saw a game talking about this. Samey, and they bid it. The thesis around this is it's the next Felix or something like that.
Yeah, Luca at JTVO actually had a thread that he quoted. So shout out Luca as well.
Yeah, I got the thread right here actually. So he basically said, and let me make sure that it's pulled up correctly. There we go. All right, you guys can see it all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he said just found the next Felix. Sammy Botch won base builder grants twice, built a game with 2 million plus races on chain. Now his AI agent co-develops every product, and that's the agent, as you can see. And I guess these are the different games that it's kind of come out with: Speed Tracer, Bracket Bot, which is like for March Madness, and a lot of people like, March Madness is literally here, so a lot of people are really that's kind of gathering a lot of, garnering a lot of attention. Then you have Looper, golf course management sim. We got to get Dom on that ASAP. And a few other things, but basically the token itself kind of ties this all together. And I believe I even saw, and don't quote me on this, but Deployer also kind of, I don't know if I think he interacted or something like that, but yeah, that's a nice little thing. I don't know. Let me see if we can track down some revenue numbers. What a banner, huh?
Pull up that banner. That's hilarious.
What a banner, huh? Holy moly.
So funny.
So that is the Twitter. I'm looking to see if there's any revenue numbers. Here's the website. You can view projects. These are the different projects that it's building that we just talked about. But I'm not sure of any of the I'm not sure about the revenue numbers, but the token itself just kind of ties all of this together. So there's that little bit of look, could be something there for you. But here's the look at the chart. Again, I wouldn't, again, our base case is a dip for Bitcoin going into the next, let's say days and weeks. So short term, we're bearish. And so when we're looking at a chart, especially right now with the market context, I'm not inclined to jump into anything quickly. I'm more inclined to DCA. I'm more inclined to research. I'm more inclined to kind of wait for the entries to come to me. In a bullish environment, when there's bullish bias short term, then we can start, rushing into positions and honestly not doing great, not being a great trader. Like bull markets have a way of reinforcing bad trading habits, but it's almost like you have to buy tops in bull markets, right? Like because things run, and and when you wait, they just go higher, and today's top is tomorrow's bottom, and that's how it goes on forever and ever, at least so it seems. But in a bearish environment like we are right now, I would still kind of prioritize being a little bit more patient with some of these entries. So if you guys are looking at an entry, these are some support levels that were drawn out. And let me see here. Okay, so these are some levels drawn out. Let's see what the fib is like on this really, really quick. I'm just curious. Okay, so the golden pocket is kind of confluent with the level of support here. So here's what I would do. I would draw out a buy zone here and a buy zone here. So these are the two buy zones that I draw out. Essentially a DCA 1 and a DCA 2. We've talked about this, many times. You're not in an environment where you can fully put in all of your capital into one position. It's more of a, 1/3, right? And Dom came up with that that wording where he said, 1/3 of your position sizing. And so if you're doing that, then you're giving yourself definitely opportunity to DCA. So that'll be the DCA one. That'll be the DCA two. Keep that one nice, keep that setup nice and simple, but it could gain traction, based on the social sentiment that I'm seeing. What else? What else? I think that's it for base. That's it for base. Well, not really. Let's just check in on robot money here. It's been holding this level. Looks like it's coming into a nice DCA one level. This this the support here, this at old all-time high, has been holding really well. Um, so I would do a DCA one, but at the end of the day, like again, bearish bias short term. So I'd also do a DCA two here at the bottom of the range, the bottom of the old range. So let me just hit that DCA one and then hit this for a DCA two. And that will be the updated views on robot money. If you guys remember, this is the treasury management protocol, AI agents that manage a treasury. So that would include not just trading, but things like yield generation, cross chain as well. So a lot of different things for robot money. And then their first protocol that they're working on, or they're working with, would be Juno. Juno incubated this project, but then it also it incubated the project, but then it also is the first treasury that this product will manage. So just something to keep in mind there. And basically same thing for that's happening with Juno right now. It's kind of retesting the top of an old range, looking really good here. And yeah, could be a potential buy here, in my opinion. And I think that would officially be it for the base eco. We covered, Felix and Kelly Claude earlier this week. Let's talk a little bit about Lobstar. So as you can see, like, look at this buy zone that this has been in place for, we covered this for the first time, I think, here.
Daddy Duster has a good question.
How many projects they're incubating? I think only one for now. Actually, I'm gonna look at the homie Ethan. He's been keeping track of Ethan. If you guys remember, he came on the show, I believe last Friday. He came on Trader Radio. He's been keeping a good track of Juno and all the movements. And I don't think that there are other projects that it's working with right now, that it's incubating, but it is working with robot money. So yeah, he oh, by the way, gonna have this hopefully Carlos can come on stream, working with the base regional lead here. See if we can get him on stream so he can talk a little bit about his kind of thesis around the ecosystem and everything. But he interviewed Ethan just recently as well. But yeah, no updates so far as the incubated projects. From what I know, Juno, let me see if I can pull up Juno here, the account, because they just updated their dashboard. I believe it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. So let me see. Let's see. And the dashboard will tell us a little bit more on. So let's see. Here's the dashboard. I got to connect a wallet just to see the dashboard. Okay, hold on one second. I guess.
Never have connect your wallet to see data. Give us the data.
Yeah, just requires $99 worth of Juno to access the dashboard. Why that reaction? Why that reaction?
Little token utility right there.
Yeah, a little bit.
That token utility.
So here, so actually, so that's, I guess that's a different dashboard. That's a different dashboard. Here's the data feed, and he said that it kind of takes a little bit to actually pull up. Yeah, so total $25,000 in revenue, almost 26. Crypto treasury 140K. And I'm looking for incubated projects. Incubated projects. It has some members. I'm not seeing anything. Daddy Duster, this is the one I found yesterday that appears to be launched by Juno, Laureate agent. Let me look at that real quick and see what I can find. Let's see here. LaRue agent. I'll just share the Twitter with you guys. AI for athletes. Okay. That's interesting. Powered by State. All right, who is this guy? 3 discipline builder and architect, video games and web. Okay. Build your athlete. Every athlete hits the wall where talent stops being enough. Most answer with more reps, more film, more grind. It might close the gap. A few ask a different question. Who am I when it gets hard? Self-knowledge compounds. Grinding doesn't. Okay. So I guess this is kind of just, I guess this is just more so helping athletes from like a mental standpoint. Here's what the LaRue agent says: 8.8 million competitive athletes in the US need mental performance support. 1,450 certified practitioners exist to serve them, 1 per 6,000 athletes. No human scaling strategy closes the gap. Agents do. Interesting. 2 futures. Athletes own portable profiles that travel with them across teams, coaches, platforms. Athletes are locked into proprietary systems, data siloed, access controlled by companies. We're building number 1 because the athlete should own their competitive identity. Interesting. Okay, so that's an interesting twist. One to keep on the watch list, perhaps. But I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on it, see if there's anything there. All right, let's look at Lobstar. Lobstar is, pretty good. We kind of covered the story
Damn,
that's
that's a
evolving.
5 mil. Holy.
Yeah, so we're up about from the middle of our buy zone, 140% almost at yesterday's high, but right now we're up about almost 100%, about 85% on this move here. And I actually drew this out, but I wanted to let's go to the 8 hour. I think that helps us get a much better look here at the chart. Let's zoom in a little bit. Boom. And this is the level that I'm marking out here for Lobstar. This is a key level right here. As you can see, when we broke above, this is the level here at like 5 mil that we haven't passed. I don't really check prices as much. Like I check them when I'm on stream, but I don't really check them like outside of that. I'm a long-term holder of Lobstar. I mean, the last time an AI got 6 figures, it went to a couple billion market cap. And in this case, we have an AI that can tweak, that can essentially it can essentially play around with human attention, right? Like it's basically come up with this furnace model. I don't know if you've heard this, but it's a furnace model where you can give it your tokens. You can call it calls it a sacrifice, is what it calls it. But you can give it tokens, and it'll choose to either A, hold or burn them, or B, give you like some sort of reward. So some people have been getting some people have gotten 4 or 5 figure rewards for some of the tokens that they give. And so this kind of creates a lot of attention around Lobstar because the AI knows that it needs to generate attention, right? Like it needs to generate attention so that way people trade the token, and then that means that's a sort of revenue for it. Because right now, going into April, it's about to have a burn rate. It's going to have costs associated with compute and all these things. So it knows it needs to generate revenue. And so in order to do that, it's almost, building this following and building out this like attention flywheel so that way it can continuously stay relevant. So I mean, I'm not really watching the short-term price action too much, more so just the buy zones for like DCAs and stuff. But outside of that, like this is about to cook, gentlemen. This is about to absolutely cook. Um, what else? That's Lobstar. Let's see here. What our favorite meme is doing absolutely fantastic. If you look here from the middle of the buy zone, we're up almost 200% on that as well. And I've had this marked out. If you're in my Telegram, you've seen this. It's been marked out for quite some time. But looks like it's forming. If we go to a lower time frame, looks like it's flagging a little bit, or like maybe a bullish pennant. Let's see. Let's see if we can chart this out real quick. Boom. So yeah, it looks good for continuation, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. As you can see, even here on like a lower time frame, it's like a nice little flagging action here happening on the chart. Yeah, so this looks absolutely good. We are at the point now, like where there were so many sellers on this chart, but it still held this sort of like 1 to 2 mil region. It accumulated there for quite some time, and now it's just time for takeoff. There's no sellers here. There's simply no sell. If you were a seller, you would have sold between the 1 and 2 mil area. So yeah, that's the setup there on our favorite our favorite homie. The what the dog doing. All right, Darth Infernal gas token. Yeah, let's take a look. So we talked about gas earlier. Basically, it's an AI agent swarm that automates your digital marketing. So if you're a marketer, you have these positions called like what are they called? They're called like ad buyers or something like that. I forget the exact term. Josh might know the exact
Sorry,
term.
say that again. Programmatic ad buyer. Ad buyer, like programmatic ad buyer, demand side platform. What's the context? Can you say it again?
Yeah, so basically this is an automated digital marketing protocol. That's how that's the thesis I put around it. But essentially there's a specific role in digital marketing that this replaces and I think it's called an ad buyer.
Yeah, there's ad buyers or media planners or ad operations, one of the three.
So that's essentially what this is replacing. So you have a group of AI agent swarm, a swarm of AI agents that essentially control ad campaigns. So they monitor the performance of first they create pieces of content to drive revenue for a particular app or what have you, or particular product. And they make content around it. And they also manage the performance of that content. So, as views start to, peak out, then they'll roll in new content, right? And so it's this automated management of your digital marketing strategy by AI agents that can essentially drive revenue for your business. And we saw that, it helped already drive a consumer portfolio of apps up to 1 million RR. So it's already doing really good. The proof of concept is there. They're in the Pump Fund build in public hackathon as well. So, this literally this chart looks great for 5, in my opinion. Like, look at this accumulation here. You see a couple of sell-offs, but let's look at maybe the 2-hour. Look at once we broke above this range here, which is Darth Infernal. We were talking about gas earlier, but when it broke out here, it accumulated, bang, it shot up. It retraced a little bit, shot up again. It's retracing a little bit, and it looks like it wants to go again. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. But like it, the discovery, the discovery was here. It held support. The discovery was here. it made a higher low. The discovery was here, and it made another higher low. Like, this is just stair stepping upward, right? And it looks very, very strong. And fundamentally, it also looks pretty strong as well. Probably one of the more interesting AI agent projects on Solana right now. Right now, let's see. There are only 2 AI agent projects on Solana that I really like, have any kind of conviction in, and that's 1, Lobstar, and 2, Gas. That's pretty much it. Lobstar is probably the most like viral story loading on Solana right now, hands down. Literally, this agent is destined for mainstream headlines, and you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me anything about that. GOAT already proved that AI agents can breach mainstream mindshare with excuse me, with things like Fartcoin. And now you have another AI agent that has, hundreds of thousands. It's coordinating with real humans. It's affecting real world change, and I think that's headed for headlines. But with this Gas, I think this is more of like a fundamental play, whereas Lobstar is more memetics. I think the Gas has like more fundamentals behind it, but still can drive a ton of mainstream mindshare with all of the marketing campaigns that it can control. So that's it, Darth. Hopefully you love the long-winded Gas breakdown. Let's see here. Tomorrow we have Clued coming on. So looks like Clued, it was heavily trending, right? Heavily trending. It's starting to break down. So I guess now the question is, all right, where are we looking for an entry potentially? I like to target a good cluster of buys on a higher time frame, like just out of curiosity. Let me see. Yeah, no, nothing really. We have a cluster of buys here at like 1.3 mil, but I think for the 4 hour like gives us a really nice indication here. Cluster of buys. So, maybe 1.3, 1.2. Ultimately, if you're bullish on a token, you're buying anywhere between like 1 and 2 mil, like you should be buying because you think it could be like going like 50, 100 mil plus, right? Maybe people haven't been dreaming that big because of what's been happening on chain, but I think the AI agent meta is something that could highly can be a good driver of of a change in holder demographics and how people look at like holding these tokens. And once Austin from Kelly Claude actually maps out some of the tokenomics that he has planned, I think that could also be a good way of setting a standard for the entire narrative. But here's the buy zone here. I'll go ahead and mark that out. If I'm looking at this chart just as a trader and just me analyzing where I would position, this would be a good place. This would be a good place. Let's see, right hand side, bang. This would be a good place for me where I'd feel comfortable kind of buying in. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of like support, but there's a good amount of like a good amount of clusters of buy and sells here. So that's where that's where I'd get interested. What else do we have? I think that's it. We went through a lot. I think that's good for me, unless you have something there, Josh.
No, just I know quotation dude was asking about repos, so maybe we just do that one before we hop off here.
Yes, repo. It should be in my utility bucket. First one. Yeah, repo's looking good. The last time we checked out repo, like their metrics were absolutely insane. So let me just do this. Let's hit price. And this is the buy zone that we had marked out on repo from the last time we spoke about it on stream. Still in that buy zone. And you might look at the chart and you notice there's like not a lot of wicking with these candles. Like that means there's not like a lot of like there's not high volume or anything like that right now. But that's because the relock rate on something like repo was absolutely insane. So real quick, let's actually go to the repo Twitter page and see, because the last time we looked at their metrics, dude, it was going crazy. Like their relock rate and everything was insane. I'm actually going to go to their website as well and see if I can track anything um anything going down there. So let's see. Um, yeah. So let's real quick. Let's go to let's go to their site right here, network stats, and here are the stats for the network. And let's take a look at some of their relock rates and stuff like that. Um, looking looking for revenge. All summer 16. All summer 16. Playing dirt, not clean. Out here.
Oh, yo, that is a old song.
Dang, bro. That's crazy, man. That's crazy that that's old. That's considered old now.
2016. That was
10 years ago. 10 years ago. What a time. What a time.
that was like the height of my life, honestly.
Yo, Elite Mo, my boy, my guy. What up? What up, bro? Elite Mo, stream, Elite Mo. Yeah,
I've
I hope you're
seen
doing well.
Elite Mo around on the timeline. I don't think on stream though.
No, I'm introducing him to the stream and I'm introducing the stream to him. But yeah, hope you're doing well, brother. We got to get you on a stream sometime. Forgot to join earlier. Nah, you're good, bro. You're good. We're gonna get some nice clips out on the stream today. So whatever you missed, you should be able to catch up on it on some of the
Yeah, check out the stream notes. I take the timestamp when that happens, and then just skip through to find tickers you're interested in.
Yeah, I'm looking for the relock rates here. I'm not seeing it on their website, and maybe I'm just not like looking properly or looking in the right area. But I thought that usually they would have more than just like price breakdowns on here. But they usually post about their relock rates and stuff like that. So let's look through their post real quick and see if we can notice any of see if we can notice some of the relock rate stats, because the boy Kaiser, the boy, if you guys don't follow Kaiser, you guys definitely should, man. Really good eye
PVS
for
days. Let's go.
PVS days, man. Like the dude like has a really good eye. Elite Mo, let's find a good time and I'll be able to join. Let's freaking go, man. Look, Fridays 12:30. That's our trader radio. Josh, maybe Mondays. I don't know, depending on the schedule.
Yeah, I
but
can I'll DM you, Elite Mo.
yeah,
TG.
we'll link with you, bro. We'll link with you. Dude, if you guys don't follow Elite Mo, you definitely should. He's a great Chad, a freaking legend right there. But yeah, happy to have you on stream, bro. Can't wait. So let's see here. Repo, usage driven
Bro, he just
deflationary token
tweeted
model.
about Lil Bits. I thought this was Liminal, that other project we had on. Sorry, continue.
I thought Lil Bits was Liminal, or is it something different? I've been getting confused I've been getting my tickers confused a little bit here lately. Here we go. So these are the recent stats for repo. So just to kind of conclude the repo segment, let me just kind of start all over for the clip's sake. Shout out our clippers. But basically, first, here is the buy zone that we have on repo. We've marked this buy zone out for quite some time. We've seen the double tap so far on the support levels. So this is established as a good area of support on the chart. And so now as we approach this area again, this is a great place to buy, right? And so why would we buy? What's the thesis around a buy here? So let's take a look at some of the recent updates on the repo stats, and they actually have a website here linked. So maybe I can get to that in a little bit. But as you can see, the relock rate it's absolutely nuts. If you don't know anything about repo, basically a company, basically repo allows humans to verify high quality data. And in order to do this, they use a prediction market in order to do this. But to participate in that on the user side, you need to have repo. You need to lock your repo in order to vote on AI data. Now on the other side, if you're a company and you need your data to be verified, you need your data to be identified, categorized, etc., then you would need to buy a pool of repo. So let's say, buy a $10,000 or $20,000 pool of repo, and then you would put that up for rewards. And you would say, hey, users, if you're a user and you can come and help me to qualify this data, then you would get a piece of this reward. And so basically you have companies that are coming to repo. They're locking up tokens. They're buying a bulk and locking tokens. You have users buying a bulk and locking tokens. And now the only kind of leakage, some would say, is, well, if a user gets those rewards, wouldn't they just sell it? Well, according to these stats, as you can see, not only are the users going up, then the amounts of votes on each prediction market is going up, but the relock rate has now climbed to 75%. So everyone receiving rewards, or 3/4 of the people receiving rewards, are essentially now relocking all of their tokens, so that way they can participate in the next prediction market, AI data qualifying round, if you will. So yeah, that's the stats there on repo, and that's why it kind of looks like a really interesting buy at these levels. I see some action going on in the chat. Let's see here. What's going on here? What's going on here, guys?
50K toppers and a little bit of discourse, but we're happy to support it.
Any thoughts on Clued, Chill? Yeah, we were just talking about Clued just a second ago. Maybe we can revisit that a little bit. I didn't really go like super deep on Clued. I just kind of talked a little bit about the
tomorrow, guys. Clued is on MCG tomorrow, so you'll get a good idea.
Yeah, Elite Mo, definitely hit us up tomorrow. We're live with Clued. I believe we just posted the updated
1:15 p.m. Eastern. It'll be repinned later, but yeah, it's posted.
Perfect. So yeah, so we'll kind of dive. We can dive deeper into Clued tomorrow, but basically it's like persistent memory that learns, consolidates, improves itself. It sounds interesting, and from what I understand, like there's a lot of like lore with like bigger players in AI, like Eric Voorhees. I believe he's the creator of VVV, if I'm not mistaken. Tetsuo, that was also like they were involved with a bigger project in the AI agent days from 2024. So we're seeing some stuff happen around Cled. Around Clued. And then you also have some like OG ETH guys that are also in there as well. And then the dev is also ex ByteDance. If you know ByteDance, then you know it's the parent company of TikTok. So that's also a pretty huge as well. And I want to dig into his background and everything tomorrow. But again, we'll do the deep dive. It seems very interesting. The fundamentals seems really well. It's breaking this trend line right now. And I'm looking to eye this like sub 1.5 mil area for an entry. If I was a trader, if I was looking at this chart and like wanting to take a position. So that's the kind of brief thing on Clued. I like the tech, but the trade is really crowded right now. Yeah, that's why I'm waiting for lower prices, man. Actually, if you follow Game Elite Mo, he actually talked a little bit about this the other day, where he said that essentially, if everyone knows about the trade, you're already late. It doesn't matter what the price is at that point. It doesn't matter if it's a mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, 5 mil. Once everyone knows about the trade, like the moat is gone, or the edge is gone, and there's no marginal buyer anymore. So to our point earlier, Josh, where we were talking about me kind of like low-key alluding to some of these projects and not mentioning them directly on the timeline, that's another reason. Sometimes like I want there to be a sort of barrier to entry with some of these plays. And like instead of like just like coming right out with it at lower,
gotta be on stream. Gotta be on stream.
Get on stream. That's a barrier to entry. Another
barrier to entry. Got to be trading on Trojan. That's another,
that's another barrier to entry.
Remove some barriers, let's say. But yeah.
Yeah, bottom left of your screen, sign up. That's another barrier to entry. And another one is do the research, right? Like if you don't know what the token is, but it sounds really sick to you and it sounds like a good opportunity, you'll do the research yourself. And then that's how you get people with conviction buying and not just people buying to look for a quick flip or to or anything like that. And I find that that's like a much more like tasteful way to come and approach things, mentioning things on the timeline. Cool. Um, my boy Josh.
Benny White from Amber Vibe said, "Let's build you an agent." So
Me? Let's go. I'm ready right now.
I just said, I said in the stream notes. I knew you'd check the stream notes. So I'm glad I said, hey, if you're listening. Yeah. All right, guys. Here's the clue for tomorrow. Let's get a schedule real quick.
Yeah, I'll pull up the schedule right now.
Second pinned.
So here's the schedule for tomorrow. We just recently updated this. Bang. So today we had blocks API.
Bro, I just realized I gotta update this again because we have INSTACLAW coming on. So all right, guys.
We have INSTACLAW coming on tomorrow too?
Tomorrow, yeah. So sans this. But yeah, tomorrow, Clued at 12:30, INSTACLAW 1:15. New pin tweet gonna come out like literally as soon as I end this. So
okay, cool. And I'll RT that too.
Yeah, we'll RT that. Elite Mo, I don't know if you want to hop on tomorrow. It's all love, it's called criticism. Absolutely. Look, gotta keep everyone honest out here. But yeah, if you want to come on a Friday, sorry.
I think we have the DLMM guys on Friday.
My bad. My bad.
So yeah, let's and then let's see if we can get you in either the next Friday or the following. But yeah, we'll get in the DMs with you, bro. We'll get in the DMs. Low key, I'm trying to we have a big trader potentially coming on, an OG trader on Solana that most of you guys might be familiar with that hasn't really showed his face on the timeline, but he is sorely missed. So hopefully we can get him to sort of break his CT silence here on our stream. So yeah, we're working on a few things, but hey guys, that's the schedule for tomorrow.
Bring the candles back, chill. Bring the candles back. Let's go.
Let's do it. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoy the stream today. We'll be back here tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Follow us at MCG Live to get updated, get all of our updates with our schedule, with our live streams. And if you missed the stream, you also get all the clips that come out afterwards. So appreciate the love, appreciate all you guys, and we will see y'all in the next one. Deuces.